You know what? I'll take it. Let's do it. Welcome, guys, to the grand finals. Things are about to go down here. North America versus Europe. What an incredible weekend this has been. The level of gameplay we have gotten has exceeded my expectations, and I can't wait for more. My name is Trixler. Here on the far left, Mr. Khaldor.
I'm hyped. I didn't think we would get to see this game. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I thought we would see this game in the loser bracket final.
Yes, I actually fully agree with you. Like, it's been a pleasant surprise to see how far we've gotten. I'm not sure if Tempest was just off or if the players are that good, but it doesn't matter because this is where we're at, and the hype levels.
I talked a little bit with Cattle. Cattle was like, yeah, finally we're there. Finally we got the two Western teams in the grand final. And I was just like, yeah, all it took was for us to kill the pro scene and make sure that they couldn't train.
Well,
that's all that we needed.
Let's introduce our first team, the European team that actually made it all the way through the winners bracket. The number 2 seed, Bang Bush, has been able to really deliver a few series here that has been incredibly impressive. And a lot of it comes down to the energy of these guys. They are here to win, they are focused, and they are wanting to dominate this tournament.
Yeah, they're definitely a funny bunch, and they've been celebrating and having a good time here ever since. Nagrom, of course, just bouncing the all day. And then you have Uli, pretty much a new Nick, the new silent killer, who's just like sitting at the side and is not saying anything. Mad skills, of course, and especially when they were playing against Tempest in that last map with his Maiev, tethering Tracer and other heroes straight into not only Stukov but also Uther, and they just blew them up. That was beautiful. He's such a monster. It's incredible.
Between both of these teams, there are truly a lot of playmakers. And sometimes when it comes down to it, your playmakers have to make the plays to get through a tournament. It's just what it is. They're called playmakers. And both of these teams have that. For EU, Ultralisk is one of the ones that I've been focusing on. But over on the opposite side, North America and 30K, we have Cure and Crew coming out here and really defying expectations. They have whipped their teams into shape.
The thing with Cure is also, I just talked to him a little bit, and I was like, dude, can you slow down on that Tracer a little bit? He's like, baby, I'm just warming up. I'm like, are you sure? I think you're getting a little bit on the older side.
Yeah, you look a little cold.
I think I saw you slowing down. And then he turns around, just starts grinning at me and shows his desk where you have like one energy drink after another. And it's crazy. And he's like, these babies, they keep me hyped. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say anything anymore.
He has been playing pretty darn impressive, but while he is the one that pops off and we see all the Cure engagements and a lot of the shot calling and whatnot, one person in particular that I want to highlight that I want you guys at home to watch is Legacy. He's been sitting in that background on that support, providing for his team. The entire team is built around the idea of having him as the anchor, and that continues to be a main focus for them. We are not playing around here. It is time to go straight into the draft. The map will be Infernal Shrines. Khaldor, let's do this.
Yeah, definitely ready for this. So, ladies, let's go. Infernal Shrines, map number 1 in the best of 7 series. There is a little bit of an advantage for Bang Bush since they come from the winner's bracket, but we're not going for any of these shenanigans with a map point up or something like that. But they have the map choice, they picked Infernal Shrines, and they also have the first pick first, the ban. So a bit of an advantage since they came from the winner's bracket here, but we're playing the entire best of 7 out, and it is going to be awesome. I can't wait, honestly.
Throughout this entire tournament, when it comes to bans, Ultralisk has been completely looked at. Kerrigan, in particular, has jumped out a lot of the times here as a ban, especially on a map like Infernal Shrine. So I am wondering whether that will be the main focus for 30K.
Banning against Ultralisk is always tricky because you want to ban his Kerrigan, you want to ban his Maiev, you want to ban the Sergeant Hammer. There's so many heroes that he comes in with that he can completely destroy you, and then you're realizing, wait a second, there's 4 other players on this team. We need to do something about them too. So they are not addressing him at all right now. In game number 1, they're going for Brightwing and they're going for the ban on Blaze, whereas Nagrom doesn't hesitate for a second and picks Diablo. And there's actually multiple reasons why we're seeing this now. Now, Nagrom has played a lot of Diablo in the European scene and in the qualifiers too. This is also Infernal Shrines, but at the same time, Diablo has become a huge staple in the meta simply because the Koreans have emphasized him this highly and were always able to get success with it. But the immediate reaction from 30K
Tychus and Johanna here to help out with burning the tank. Also strong around the Infernal Shrines when you're working towards that Punisher. But you're right, Diablo has been a main focus this entire tournament. And afterwards, Johanna's been the quieter tank, but also one that's been strong to set up plays. Usually you need a 1-2 punch, whereas Diablo can do it all himself. He gets the engages, he eats cooldowns, which are pivotal in team fights.
Tychus, of course, gives value also around the shrines themselves, the objectives when you're coming in with Odin, but trying to chunk down Diablo is going to be big. The thing is that Diablo can even give you value when he dies. We've seen that with Capybara a lot of times in the previous games. There were so many opponents that were trying to just take him down that they used one cooldown after another against him. And then when he was fully stacked with his souls, he was back a couple of seconds later, whereas they were still waiting to get their abilities back. So that's one way that he can use him here too. Sergeant Hammer seems to be where 30k draws the line, though. They are looking at Ultralis and saying, all right, you have your picks for now. You can take your Genji, you can take your Maiev. If you want to have a Karrigan at some point, go for it. But yeah, Hammer time.
Yeah.
We have bad experiences with giving the Germans a Panzer, and we are just not going to repeat those mistakes.
Imagine that. Ban coming in here. Look at this. Cure has been on fire with the Tracer, and as you mentioned, he is not going down in any way, shape, or form. Bangbush says, we're good. We're going to take that out, and Tracer will not be available for a pickup. So Cure will have to adjust and pick up someone else, which of course he can do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the guy has an incredible hero pool, so it's not going to be a problem for him. But taking that Tracer away, I can't blame the Bangbush for it after what we've just seen in the loser bracket final. I mean, are you kidding me? He's been literally running circles around them. Now we get Rhaegar for Legacy, and the question, of course, is still, what is Ultralis going to pick? They got their front line, they still need a support, and they also need Ultralis with his flex pick here on the first map of the best of 5 in the Grand Final.
Yeah, would definitely like to see a little bit more damage. It's going to be Malfurion, and Malthael is going to be the choice here, which, again, makes sense, especially against Yrel and Johanna, but just because of how well he's been playing it, you know, Justin and I were talking about it, he's able to just jump even on a back line, someone that you wouldn't really want to focus. He knows how to count cooldowns and make sure that you don't have a tool to deal with his Malthael, and if you do, that cleanse comes out without any issues. He is very, very clever with his engages. And
he's also playing now in a low ping environment, which is really huge for him, and you can tell. Cure with a Mephisto on the final pick, on the other hand, so they're going down the mage route, and that's pretty cool. Mephisto is a hero that was initially mainly played in Europe. We had him after he came back, just played by Make initially. Make was the only one that played Mephisto. A couple of players were trying it out, didn't really work for them too well. So for a long time, he was the only one. Then we saw a few of the tournaments in Korea, and the Koreans really liked to play him. It was roughly 7-8 months ago.
Yeah.
And then everybody in the West started to take a closer look at him. So now Madara is swapping with Cure here to play Mephisto in game number 1 on Infernal Shrines. But it's pretty cool to see that the NA boys are bringing him in here on Infernal Shrines.
What do you think? Do we go the full direction? Call it before we go in.
I would love it, but I don't think so. I think we're going to see a 4-2 victory.
You think a 4-2 victory is the call? Best of 7 is what's going to happen here. Our first map is Infernal Shrines. Here we go. 30K from North America. The #1 seed taking on the #2 seed, Bangbush.
And we're starting things off on the left side with the blue team, the Europeans. The Bangbush rocking it here with Henning on Malfurion, Swamgrotta on Leoric, Nagrom on Diablo, Ultralisk on Malthael, and Skok on Sylvanas.
On the opposite side, representing North America, Cattle on Johanna, Cure on Tychus, Liam on Yrel, Medora on Mephisto, and Legacy playing Rhaegar. The crowd is chanting, and they are ready to support with the home field advantage. Here we go, Europe versus North America.
Ladies and gentlemen, the grand final of the Heroes International Next Level Gaming Esports Center. Top side, we got Skok still going for the tower, trying to drop some damage here. The usual Sylvanas push in the early game. Both of these teams had a fantastic tournament. Bangbush, the winners of the winner bracket. 30K got eliminated by them. The last time these two teams faced off against each other in the winner bracket semifinal, 30K wasn't able to win a single map. Got kicked down into the losers bracket, but they did not despair. They went for loser bracket run. That rival no other took down the Koreans, and now they want revenge.
They're trying to get on top of Liam, but Liam is a slippery little goat, able to get out of that engagement on the top right. What I enjoy about both of these teams is sometimes in matches you have to go for hard reads if you can't get all the information. And for these teams throughout the entire weekend, whether it be draft or even moving in for an odd boss play, both of them have always seemed to have guessed right or been so coordinated and on point with their information that they are able to identify the correct play that their opponent is going for, and they adjust for it. And when both teams excel at that, that's when games get incredibly exciting.
Yeah, it's also really interesting since we have a lot of players that have been in the last offline grand final that we saw in Miami in February. So Ultralisk, for example, and Cure, to name a player on the side of 30K, have both participated in the grand final back then as well. And it was an absolute thriller. Right now, though, Svamgrotta gets hit hard, but he's able to move back out. Doesn't have to activate Leo straight.
Our side laner's having a rough time so far, both of them getting low on HP, but sustaining through. Both times getting their healings as both Liam and Svamgrotta continue to get focused. Legacy working on this push here in the bottom lane, but look in the middle, a bit of a potential fight that could break out. You see Nagram on the side. He goes over, gets a combo. It sits on Johanna, tries to block her, but as soon as Kier shows up with that minigun, he wants to skedaddle.
And Cure, that's really his job here. So Cure needs to come in time and time again whenever Diablo makes a move and put the pressure on so that he can't follow up with additional body blocking and is himself a target. But you have also then Malthael on the other side, and it is Ultralisk that 30K is looking towards. He is a huge problem, or was in all of the previous games, and they are well aware of it. And of course, as already Cure said in one of the previous games, they've been talking about what do we do against the Bang Bush? How do we prepare for them? How do we make sure that this 3-0 victory for the Europeans doesn't repeat itself here? And we'll find out what their answer is.
Well, 3 to the top as we set up for the Shrine Camp. Now, both bruisers were grabbed, and typically you want to have a spawn in the middle or the bottom. Oh, hang on, look at the middle lane. As Sylvanas is actually being engaged upon. Skog trying to get that wave pushing before he rotates over, and Liam and crew were able to run down there and get it, and they get first blood of the tournament.
Yep, North America in the grand final gets first blood against Sylvanas. Nice pick, and they want another one. Nagrom at the top, able to move out. They get a lead on the Shrine, but it's not a significant one yet. Sylvanas on their way back, 12 stacks to 8, and 30K is ready to rumble. They want this one. Arcane Punisher top side. Now we have Ultralisk moving top 2. Nobody has level 7 just yet, but they're both working on it.
Wow, it's so close despite it being a 4v5. Now with Sylvanas joining, it is a full 5-on-5, 19 to 16. The two continue to fight. Leorg has great control, so does Diablo around this choke. Ultralisk trying to just land any shrouds he can on that back line. Cattle, meanwhile, trying to group up all of these minions so he can get it set up for Tychus to come in for a grenade, but it's just not happening. Nogren goes in, goes for a combo. Liam taking some damage. Skog able to get out with 130. No, just kidding. Medora goes in and finds another kill.
Madara with a hit, takes down Sylvanas. The talent lead that they had for a long time is also helping them here. Another stun. They want the Immortal. Can they at least get that? They grab it. The Arcane Punisher is coming in, but Svamgrotta is a little bit low too. And of course, Cure now being chased. Where's the jump from the Punisher?
It's about to come in. It hits on top of Medora.
It's not a kill. 5 hit points. Madara gets out with 5 hit points.
That was a bit terrifying. They're jumping to help, but that's A-okay. And more combos continue to go forward as the Punisher tries to get in there and apply some damage. Being pulled to the top right corner, and finally will get picked up. No damage on top of that turret. 7 to 7, 2 kills in favor of North America, but with the Punisher being grabbed, EU feeling good.
But that last play on Garden of Terror was so cool.
That was an incredible play from last series.
I mean, a little bit of, honestly, at this point, it's just us trying to let everybody know what happened previously. So if you haven't been here for that, that was a little glimpse onto the previous series.
That's right.
But with that, let's focus back on the grand final at this point. Down at the bottom of the map, we currently have another camp taken. 2 kills to 0 in favor of 30K. And, well, Mephisto getting away here with 5 hit points was just crazy. So, good job by Madara. And can he repeat that again? He's been one of the main damage dealers for them now. Always jumping in deep whenever the Bang Bush is trying to escape here. but with the Punisher at least, the European team was able to do some structure damage. Experience still fairly even as both teams are aiming for level 10.
Yeah, but those heroics about to pop up here. First, actually, for North America, it looks like, as they actually get a small advantage on the minion wave in the bottom lane. Those 10s will be coming in with the bottom shrine picking up. Opening the wall is probably one of the best benefits you can do. So Nagram rotates down the bottom left just to make sure that wall doesn't take too much damage from the minions, and also soaks it up. 10s are right around the corner, Khaldor, and this game's about to blow wide open.
It definitely will, and I am super excited for the next shrine, because this is where we're going to see Odin. This is where we're going to see both teams with heroic ability. Durance of Hate is kicking in here as well, and it is from Diablo, this time Apocalypse. We've seen tons and tons of lightning breaths.
That's true.
But not a lot of Apocalypse here. The combo with Leoric, on the other hand, can really cause an issue if you line that up perfectly. First the Entomb, then the Apocalypse, get those stuns out, maybe even a Wailing Arrow as a follow-up from Sylvanas. So there's definitely a ton that Bangbush can do in these choke points on the map, being it one of the corridors or the shrine.
Diablo also just by himself can set up as well around those shrines because of how strong he is. He's more of a bodyguard, if you will. Kier taking some pressure already, but it's going to go ahead and walk away. Doesn't want to deal with Ultralis at all. Ultralis actually scouts out Liam trying to go for the rotate. Isn't able to connect there with his E, and Liam just turns around and gets some decent damage. Now, Bruisers have respawned. Both teams would love to have these pushing while the bottom shrine activates soon.
Of course, the camps are being focused on to next. If they time them properly, then they can set up some top lane pressure before the objective gets engaged. 30k is doing the same thing here, so they're timing it well around the shrine announcement. And we shouldn't see a level 13 lead for any of these teams. 30k has a bit of an advantage right now in experience, but it's a small window, and it's likely not going to play a big role for this fight. But yeah, I can't wait to see what exactly is happening here, because this is the first big opportunity to pull ahead in this game.
And both teams decided they might want to come down for rotation. I'm watching Liam, actually, Urel. He was hovering on top, trying to see if they can get some information and see if Bangbush is set up already on top of the shrine. If so, he would try and push out top lane. But with Bangbush being here right away, 30k is wanting to meet him.
Yeah. Coming in for that fight immediately. There is Odin. They're trying to take down Svampgrotta. He's in trouble. Heads out and is able to survive. But for how long? Liam wanted to try to put in the finishing blow, but gets caught instead. The Entomb is there, and he gets caught by the Root 2. Tranquility already utilized by Eddie. The combo! The kill!
Oh my God, the heal!
Cure goes down finally, but no stack for Malthael. He's still at 0. The window was nicked. Oh! What a Root!
I thought goats were great on grass, but not so much there. Getting locked down by Malfurion, and he says, no, you stay put. And that's going to be 2 pickups there. Great plays from both teams, but Bangbush able to take away a couple of kills, and the lead continues. 30-16 on the shrine, and at the same time, Sylvanas is prepping the middle of the map.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. I mean, first and foremost, what an ancestral also from Rhaegar, just in the nick of time to make sure that Tychus at least initially survives. That prevented the stack on Malthael's level 10, but eventually Tychus still dying, and then the follow-up kill. So now it's 2 kills to 2, level 13 for the Bangbush, the inevitable end, giving Ultralis even more safety as they are pressuring through the bottom of the map. But as you pointed out, top side, Leon Sylvanas.
Yeah, they had to go to the top side because Liam did such a great job of setting up that Bruiser camp that eventually was going to stack up with the turrets and start heading backwards. But they take that opportunity and say, you know what, now that we've won this team fight, we'll turn around and work on the top side. Now, we do have an Entomb coming out, but it is a relatively low cooldown, 50 seconds. In fact, he's had 2 Entombs out, and look at Urel. When she had to use her Ardent Defender up, it's still on cooldown from that last fight.
Oh, Skog! Liam with a pancake move, and he takes Sylvanas down. Nicely done by Urel here. It was a bit of an iffy moment, by the way, as the Entomb came out. Yeah. Because if that Entomb hits, he just used his mobility skills. He would have been caught and could have died, but it just barely didn't catch him.
Yeah, Liam's Urel is going to be a problem in this Best of 7 series. It has been a very strong pickup. I would say it's probably his best hero. That man has so much confidence on what he can do with it.
She was banned earlier for exactly that reason.
She is going to probably get some more bans too. Kier getting slammed into a wall by Nagra, but he gets some decent damage out, being able to sneak on out. Same time, Swamp looking for a potential engage. He does have that Entomb. If he can catch it on Rhaegar here, Diablo could follow it up. Ultras comes over. They decide against it as the whole team of 30k is lingering by.
A little bit more damage on the structures of 30k, but don't really any decisive advantage yet for the Bangbush or the red team. So topside Shrine is the next one that gets announced. And you can tell that both teams have a ton of respect for each other here. Europe doesn't want to overextend and get punished for it. 30K, they well remember the beating that they received in the winner bracket, so they are now playing this very safe, looking for kill opportunities. They are ahead in kills with 3-2, and they've been playing a great game here. But the objectives have so far gone over to the Bang Bush.
Yeah, and that next objective will be coming soon with 16 lingering. That is the main push for both of our teams. They try to grab those 16, get those power spikes, making sure they're as even as possible. The next shrine being at the very, very top as well will move into an exposed fort for 30K. And if you actually look at the infrastructure right now, while Bang Bush is actually a bit behind on kills 3-2 at the moment, they've done a better job of getting fort damage.
Can I just say that it's so amazing to have the international competition at an offline event
Yes,
again.
sir.
Just having the players sitting there and just getting the visual as well. Everybody lined up, the communication so much improved, and just reactions from the crowd too.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. I mean, this is really what this is all about. And having such an event now accumulate in the final on the third day is just great. The teams have been doing such a fantastic job. And it's so much fun to be here.
It's so hard to watch a competitive game like this and see constant 5-5s happen without seeing the heart, and that's what LANs bring to you.
Yes.
They give you the heart. They put it on full display. Every single bead of sweat that comes in from these players, and it's all going to be worth it, because at the end of today, we are going to crown a champion. Liam drops down the Art of Defender, and that's actually massive. That was before the Shrine pops up, and that is a massive heroic that Yrel wants to have. That enables her to be so aggressive.
That's a 2-minute cooldown that he just burned, and I totally get it. Better safe than sorry.
Yes, sir.
It would be horrible if you die here, but at the same time, that is going to limit his aggression a lot. And we got 16 talents on both sides. In this case, we have the Wraith Walk build completed for Leoric. And yeah, it's time to party hard on that third objective. 24,000 damage, by the way, from Tychus, top damage dealer. And on the blue team, it is Leoric with 21,000. Drain, drain, drain all game long with heavy success.
So heading into the second shrine, there are 2 heroics down. Sylvanas' Wailing Arrow as well as Yrel's Ardent Defender for 70 seconds. 4-7 is the score so far. Entomb is available. I'm looking at Ultras as well. He's trying to find the engagement. Here comes Endurance, and Medora gets some damage out.
They're getting the damage and Cure, of course, with Odin. Is trying to keep Ultralisk at bay and has him down to 50% HP. Good job by him. But this isn't over by any means. The Shrine has been taken up to this point by the Bang Bush, and they are taking the lead, therefore, on the stacks.
Yes, sir. 30K is nice and healthy. They continue the aggression. Big pounds coming in. Yrel trying to hold the front line. Legacy using an early ancestral healing at the same time. Last Strike comes out, and Medora is down. Bang Bush finds one pick, looking for more. Massive Entomb, locking Cure into a corner. Cure tries to break off the damage, but there's no ancestral healing, and now Legacy might be the next one. That's 3 down. Could it be 4? Cattle getting bite slammed into the ground as well, and Liam runs away to soak.
Death and despair on the side of 30K as they are getting murdered by the Bang Bush. A banging play from the blue team. Once again, they take the fort down. And just take a look at this. The first one to fall, Mephisto, the Entomb as the follow-up, and no mercy given by the Bang Bush as they are cleaning house. The top lane gone, the pressure on the wall at the keep already as finally the Punisher is making his approach here.
30K was using their heroics a little bit early there. They were trying to set themselves up to bully their way onto the Shrine because they were in a bit of a disadvantaged position. And being able to use so much heroics so fast opened up the window for Bang Bush because that wall was down. With that Entomb coming in, that was all they wrote. Boss pushing in the top right, and this is a Frozen Punisher, which is pretty darn deadly.
Ult completely missing here from Mephisto, and here comes the Entomb again. The Punisher's jumping in, Frozen Punisher to boot. They're going for the kill, and they get it. Mephisto is down. Bang Bush, they are on their way to the keep, and maybe even Koa, Mouth, and Yrel are missing. Here comes that Odin from Cure. He's trying to prevent the inevitable. The keep will fall, but can they go further?
The APOC comes out, trying to lock someone down. It will completely whiff. However, the Punisher continues to keep running on in. They're looking at the core here as it starts to take some damage, and Bang Bush says, you know what, that was good enough. I got the keep. They have Odin set up. They have defense. Let's have them have that and go to the rest of the map.
They're retreating for now. They want level 20. They didn't have it yet, and they didn't want to risk being wiped at the core here. But now 30K looking for Nagrom. They want him. Tranquility out quickly by Malfurion. No 20 yet, and just look at 30K. They want the fight. They want to force this, but they are not getting the opportunity.
That was a proper window to move into before that 20 connected. And they've been able to get on top of Diablo. Maybe they burn him down, but with no Medora being available, no Mephisto, they couldn't overextend too much in the middle lane. And Bang Bush able to walk away, and with a heroic advantage, this is where Sylvanas is going to have a playground.
This, of course, brutal for 30K. They're 2 levels behind. It's going to take them a long, long time to get to level 20. Samgroda throws out an Entomb, and at this point, honestly, he can be pretty, I mean, he can be pretty easygoing with that cooldown.
Yeah, he can be liberal.
40-second cooldown. Objective hasn't been announced yet. They have level 20. If he gets the hit in, they can follow up, maybe get a kill. If it misses, he will have another opportunity later. It's not like 30k can force this too hard right now. If they see somebody overextend, of course they're going to jump on it and take him down, but they are not going to be committed to a big fight with Storm Talons on the other side if they don't have to.
Going forward, I'm keeping my eye on Medora. He's had a couple of unfortunate situations where he's tried to go in for a hard engage and Toon comes out and locks him down. He's been trying to go for Durance. Oh my gosh, over the wall, a full combo. Kira able to sneak out, put damage on him now, and there's a fort.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they're dropping low. Henning is trying to keep them alive, but that was a perfect reaction by 30k. They did real well here. Madara now coming in again with Mephisto. Bang Bush surviving though. Another Entomb missing. 30k is holding on to their infrastructure. They didn't die here, and they nearly got some kills. Bangbush has to be careful. We've seen tons and tons of teams taking a big lead in this tournament in the game and then throwing it away, being a little bit too cocky, a little bit too overconfident, and being punished for it. And if there is a team that can punish you and will punish you if you give them a chance, it's 30k.
Good on Legacy playing Rhaegar. They're able to be in the perfect position to make sure that Diablo didn't get the full combo on top of Tychus and also provide the healing. Had Tychus falls there, that's a fort, potentially a keep wall as well. And I wouldn't say quite game, but you're definitely in a dire position. So massive save for him. Now, there were a few heroics that were used. Diablo APOC down, notably. So is Sylvanas' arrow. Rhaegar's ancestral healing at the same time. And with the Shrine activating in the next minute, everything should be up, and 30k has done it. They got to level 20.
I gotta admit, I did not think they would head to 20 before the Shrine activates.
Neither did
but it was a big gap. There was a lot of XP to be had on the map. They grabbed it all. So that is an even battle again. Bangbush didn't get anything out of that advantage. He could push a little bit. They had some map control. But that is a very late Shrine, so to say. So it gave plenty of opportunity for 30k to go and pick up their Storm Talents. And that is a massive boost with the big red button coming in, for example. Yeah. So it's going to be huge for this fight.
It's a big boost because they have those heroics, as you mentioned, level 20, but also because they have a well in the middle of the map there, so they can tap and come back into the engagement on this Shrine. Both teams available for that. However, there is a small advantage for Bangbush in the top lane. They have a push heading straight in, and remember, that core is exposed.
Kettle has to be careful here, too.
Odin.
Here comes the ult for Mephisto. Once again, big red button has been utilized. Odin is going for it. They're trying to push the bot lane, though, and one into him again. The bird life is there. They're trying to go for Yrel. The arrow from Sylvanas, and it's not enough. They didn't get the damage. And now Mephisto. Malthael gets punished. Malthael is down. Ultralisk is dead. They messed up the play against Yrel and they die. But no one can stop death. Brings Ultralisk back into the fight.
The control from 30k was fantastic. Ultras went to the back line and had 4 people kind of locked down with his touch. But because of the control and the ancestral healing coming out, he just couldn't quite put out enough damage. And Tychus was able to survive. And now 30k with their first Punisher will be pushing in the bottom lane. Are they actually ignoring what's going on the top right? I'm looking at Yrel here. Is she going to rotate in? There she goes. Backs out and will clear out these catapults. And with a 4-man push, 30k looks to do some damage.
They want to do some damage down here, but of course they have only 4 heroes, so they need to be super careful. But nice moves by Madara as Mephisto is looking to drop the hit point pool of Leo. Well done. And Ultralisk, he needs to be careful too, gets hit, but is able to retreat. Now it's Diablo that's become the target. Nagrom, he is sacrificing himself here. He's down, he'll be back soon too, but 30k is gaining momentum.
This Punisher has half its HP, it's moving out of the bottom left, and they're gonna go ahead and back away from it, but with that wall being up and Diablo hitting like a kitten now, things are looking a little bit more scary for Bangbush, and they need to rebuild him up. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the pressure continues from 30k. They have no intentions of stopping.
But this shows real clearly how these fights are going. Bangbush looking for the commitment once that the Buried Alive from Leo connected. And even the follow-up from Sylvanas. They used so many of their cooldowns to take Yrel down. And if they get the kill, it's all worth it. But they missed it. They just missed it. Yrel gets out and all of a sudden they are standing there with their pants down. They don't have cooldowns. 30k just turns on them. Starts dropping heroes. 7 kills to 5 now in total in this first game of the best of 7. Big advantage at the top lane still, despite everything that's happening here. Bangbush, they have taken the keep down, so those catapults are a sore thorn in the side of 30k. It's Yrel who has to push them out, and she is just passing past the minion waves topside now to just eliminate the catapults because they are the threat.
Yeah, they're the main pushes there. Once you're 20, you don't really need that experience coming your way anymore. You should be fine. Just make sure there's no damage going on your core. One thing that has changed in the last couple of fights that was different from the first 2 fights in the game is Medora on Mephisto has gotten a little bit safer in his gameplay, and if you're able able to step up and keep that harassment continuing coming in, getting that cooldown reduction, you can see members on the opposing team start to burn down. So Medora making an adjustment after those first couple of picks, so shout out to him.
Once again, Cure here also up at the front, down at the bottom of the map. Another push with the minion camp on some catapults. Has to be eventually stopped by 30k or they risk losing the wall at the keep. Mid lane, Bangbush dealing with the camp themselves. Everybody waiting for either someone to overstep a bit or for the next objective to spawn. And we are already 21 minutes into game number 1 of the best of 7, the grand final of the Heroes International in Miami. Top side, they're trying to steal the camp. They have vision at the bot lane. Nice play by Bangbush.
What's impressive so far is how many buildings are still up at 21 minutes. Sure, we have the top lane completely negated there as well, but with 2 keeps on the bottom and that major fort in the middle, this is starting to become a major thorn in the side. Having that tap available for NA is what has kept him in this match. He's done such a great job of defending it, and I imagine Bangbush would love to take out that outer layer of defense. In fact, if you look at the minimap right now, they're rotating in the middle, getting that lane pushing out. I'm watching Sylvana. So Sylvana wants to commit here. She can throw that black arrow there and start to get it, but with Liam showing up instantly, Bangbush is going to relax. Oh, Swamp sets up, has an Entomb, and it whiffs.
He whiffs the Entomb. He was anticipating the movement and kind of miscalculated here. But can they head out? As long as they're able to move away from this, that's not a problem. But Sylvana, she gets chased hard and is finally able to escape. But Liam always now looking to be aggressive here. And they are pushing for that camp. They know exactly what the next move of Bangbush is, of course, as the Shrine has been announced.
This is a great choke for Endurance of Hate, by the way. So watch from Medora. If they think they can go for it, they'll try and drop it there. They decide against it. The Shrine is activating. It's up in 5 seconds. Leoric and crew move up. The advantage is here for Bangbush. Remember, they had that fort in the top left, so they have the healing, they have the fountain, and that health, man, it can pay in dividends.
Tim, this is it. This could be, I mean, again, 30k wins here. They can maybe even move down to the bot lane, take a keep, and who knows, maybe go for core right away. This is the big fight right now. Those level 20 talents are massive. The stun is out, the attack is happening, and Diablo isn't fully stacked. He's at 49 souls right now. Here comes the big red button. They're going for Madara. Madara! Mephisto! He's low! The Ancestral coming in and keeping him alive, and it's once again Ultralisk and Malthael that falls. He's back to business thanks to the 20, but that is a huge problem. They're trying to get Rhaegar, no! The dog is down.
Nagram. Oh my gosh, keeping up the aggression there. Rhaegar falls. Meanwhile, 23-8 and Shrine controls. Vabgrante trying to hold that front line. Gets off the drain. Hope tries to go for a 2 and misses for a second, but Liam's 8 will sneak on out. 23-8, and with 30k not having their healer, they either need to make a play now or decide to back away and play defense. The problem is that top lane is terrifying.
Yeah, here's the moment when he gets caught. Nagrom with such a sexy play. That was such a good move by him. Massive impact from Diablo and Nagrom. They got that kill, and that forces 30k back right here, right now. Svamgroda whiffing a lot of these entombs that he throws out, but it's a constant threat on the side of the Bangbush. Here comes the Frozen Punisher, and since it's the top lane, we're talking core at this point.
Both teams have missed heroics. Even look at Medora, he hasn't been able to land that Endurance of Hate as much as he would like. I think it just comes down to both teams doing a great job of anticipating when something is going to come in. The sidesteps have been really on point, but with the core currently under trouble, there's a huge Punisher moving in. 30k needs to defend, and they don't have an Odin.
And it's too late, but it hits Cure. It hits Cure, and Cure gets deleted. Get wrecked, he dies. That's Tyker's gone, and now this is spelling real trouble for 30k. Can they survive here? The Punisher, part of the party. Liam gets attacked, stumps in again, goes for the stun. Huge problems here for 30k, and they are about to lose Urel. She's trying to get away, but the kill is there as Nagrom closes the distance.
But Medora's starting to pop off. He turns around and get a couple of picks as well here. The Punisher being pulled to the middle of the keep made that core be in a position where he can get the damage, and Medora is just spreading the damage around. It is currently a 4v3. Can he keep it up? Leo is on the way back, but Medora, being low and bruised, is in a position where he can't do much, where he needs to get to the fountain. He needs to heal on up. The Punisher needs to get this keep and get on top of that core. Can they finish?
They're holding here, at least for now. The attack in the mid lane has dropped the keep low, but the core is, of course, the prime target. 10 seconds on Tychus. 10 seconds. The shield nearly gone. They can't get a kill, but they're healing back up with the help of Malfurion. They're looking for another kill. They're moving in once more, and they're trying to drop him here. Everything on him. The last ride.
Oh my God, Medora!
How the hell does 30k hold? This is crazy.
Medora is absolutely popping off here. Kier comes up with the Odin and actually helps push him back, and the defense actually holds. The core drops down to 79%, but 30K is still in it here in game number 1 against Bang Bush.
What a ridiculously good defense. 30K. They lost 20% on the core, but that is insanity.
Look at the bottom.
And look at the bot lane. Exactly. The keep has taken damage. They're going to prevent the keep from falling. But that is just nuts.
What is that, 5 Punishers now in this matchup? Getting ready for the 6th one. That should be spawning relatively soon, 24 to 23. I don't feel like I've seen Inferno Shrines usually go this late.
Dude, they got nothing. They got half of the HP of the keep in the middle, and that's it. That's all that they got from that Punisher at the end of the day.
Medora absolutely playing on point there. And, of course, you got to shout out Rhaegar, making sure that they're providing the heals and positioning as they set up for the Storm. Gonna just absolutely keep an eye on this. Liam goes in for the drop. Able to grab this Punisher on the top right side. Kier setting up this top lane. And with the Punisher spawning at the bottom side, that is something 30K will have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, 30K is, I mean, they must be really, really good right now because that was such a great defense, and it is hard for the Bang Bush. They already thought, hey, we are winning this. This is our game right now. We're going to take it right here, right now, take the lead in the best of 7, and it sets us ahead. And then 30K just was relentless in just keeping everybody alive, making sure that the Punisher was moved away from the core. And it's insane to me that they were able to pull this off.
Goes in.
Oh, that's the problem. He walks out of the Entomb, but can they follow up on it regardless?
Wow, Liam able to sneak on by just barely. Didn't even have to use that Ardent Defender. Legacy keeping out the heals. Bomb sent him a spot. Does he have the Entomb? No, he doesn't. It's down for 35.
He gets out. Able to walk away from this. 10 kills to 8 now in total, but what a first game of this grand final. It's incredible. We are 27 minutes into the game of the first map. Camps in the middle, camps at the bottom, all have to be dealt with as the next objective spawns bot side. What a game. What a first game in this grand final. And by now we have actually Madara with 126,000 damage on Mephisto. Malthael with 104,000. Both of them proud participants in the 6-digit club.
Now with the Shrine to the bottom, both teams hoping to get control of those Merc camps in the top right. This will be in favor of Bang Bush because they will have catapult pressure from killing the keep earlier in the game. Looking at 30K, they're set up in the bush, waiting to see if one might be rotating over. All they want to do is try and push back this top side. Nagram setting up a play once again.
And they need to defend this. 30K has to stand here up at the top. They are forced to. They can't just simply let this lane push through with a camp and catapult. So if their own camp gets cleared, that would be a big deal. But Sylvanas and Leo are already rotating down. They're trying to take this here. Bit of a late rotation from Malthael. He did a bit more damage on the minions first, but it's absolutely safe. There's nobody close. Svangoda again with a drain, and this is another huge team fight. It's 28 minutes into it. I didn't really think we would get another big one after they won the Punisher top side, but here we are. 30K is not giving an inch.
Nobody's top steps should be back up for Ultralist. Starts the damage here on the side. Nagram already doing what he can here to drop at the CCs. Bomb takes a massive beating from Odin. Cure and crew starting to burn it down 17-0. Entomb does not connect once again. Liam continuing to keep juking.
Yes, Van Grotta definitely affected here, but now comes the ult. There's Madara. They try to go for Henning. The Apocalypse. Nagram with the play, but the Ancestral is ready. Once more, Legacy paying attention. He has the back of his players. Leo dies, goes for the trade. At the same time, Q is shelling the shit out of them from the backline. The APOC is out. Nagram has to retreat. The souls are there. Punisher's taken, but the core could be attacked in just a second by the catapults. They're pushing through. They need to send somebody back. Look for Sylvanas. Sylvanas is moving in too. They're forcing this now.
They're trying to force it moving in. Liam already here, though, to answer back. Pushes away the catapults, which is the scariest part here. Legacy, the main focus here for Nagram, but he can't quite lock it down. Malthael trying to move over to this Punisher.
Chaos.
And 30K is pushing for a win.
Pure chaos here. 30K is trying to push in. They're baiting the Punisher. The keep at the bottom of the wall is definitely going to fall. 7 seconds for Leoric. Here comes 30K. They want the victory. Urel isn't there yet. Urel is missing. Can he land the Entomb this time? Svam Grotta, he's going to be looking for it. The Punisher bouncing around, assisting the red team. Here comes the attack. Where's that Entomb? He needs to land it, and he does, but he's dying. He's dead. Q is alive. The core is falling. 30K, the comeback 70%. Is real. They're making it happen.
60,
this is crazy.
40,
what a
20,
play by 30K.
10.
They take the lead in the best of 7. Bang Bush goes down in flames on Infernal Shrines.
Wow.
Insane absolutely crazy. What a defense first by 30K and then the push to the bot lane. Respect.
That defense from Mephisto, and with the help of Legacy, of course, providing the healing, but the positioning, jumping in, getting in the lightning circle, bringing out the skull missiles, doing the absolute must that he could do, spreading out the damage like crazy. That was very impressive to see. And, you know, we saw a lot of heroics miss there, namely the Entomb, but it felt like those weren't just straight up whiffs because they were in a position of just straight up missing. Everyone was playing so well in their positioning, just slightly missing out on an angle. That happened on the Endurance of Hates as well. What a great game. If we continue to play at this level for this best of 7 series, we're set up for today.
Yeah, I gotta admit though that a lot of this is on Swampgrotta. You can miss a couple of Entombs, no problem. And he had incredible games throughout the tournament, so it's not like he's a weak link or anything. But in this game, at least, if he connects 2 of those Entombs, it's a completely different beast. So he's not going to be happy with his performance here. His Leo was absolutely solid outside of that, but the ult's missing this frequently. That is going to become an issue no matter what. But it is really that top lane push where they thought they had it. And honestly, I wouldn't have bet a single cent on 30K. It's still mind-blowing to me that they were able to hold.
Very impressive.
But that should have been a victory right then and there. And I think they expected it to. I don't really know if it was a situation where they felt we got it and then they eased up a little bit and didn't like focus completely anymore. But it was just so impressive to see that 30K believed in that chance to hold it with only 3 players still there and were able to make it happen.
And 2 players that I felt played phenomenally in that matchup, aside from Mephisto with Madara. I loved seeing Yrel from Liam. That, I think, is legitimately going to be an issue that needs to be resolved in this best of 7 series. He is very slippery. He also brings in the damage, and he has no fear. If you use a cooldown around him and you don't connect that cooldown, he is coming for your life and asking his team to help out. On the other side, Nagra, man. Diablo was making play. Oh my gosh, the solo 5-second ultimate on Rhaegar. That just feels bad, right? You're just like slamming your keyboard. You're like, Rhaegar, I can't move. Sorry, guys.
He absolutely crushed him there. But you're pointing out Liam and his Yrel, and this is the one fight also that we saw at the bottom shrine where they dropped the Entomb, they dropped the Wailing Arrow, they had everything on him. And it just felt like the damage at that moment wasn't there. I honestly don't know if Ultralisk was a bit too far away to come in and help them out, to drop him. But the second that he got out of that and had finally his abilities back up, that turned the entire fight against the Bang Bush. And 30K then immediately followed up. He's like, guys, I'm fine. Let's chase them. Let's go.
The fight on the bottom shrine.
Exactly.
Yeah. What happened there? Actually, I'll tell you, Ultralisk actually got into an engagement where Rhaegar was the main focus. He was trying to jump on top of him. Rhaegar peeled back, and he like jumped the moment that happened. And he got stuck in a 3-man concave.
Yeah, that makes a whole more sense. Because I was looking at this, I'm like, this is such a good opportunity. Where's the damage at? Like, what is preventing? And I thought it might be a stun or something. But yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It's a great peel,
but
honestly.
This is exactly what you were talking about. One single move where you don't connect your abilities or where you maybe interrupt your opponent's chain, and that's all that Liam needs in a situation to turn it around against you and using Yrel to just murder you.
Oh my gosh, we are going in. Game number 2, straight to Dragonshire, which has been a main focus for a lot of our teams if you want to try and split up the teams and try and make sure that you get number advantages in terms of macro, which is something that Bang Bush really believes in, but 30K is ready for the challenge.
Yeah, 30K, they got the lead. Of course, they came up from the losers bracket finals, so they had just a victory against Tempest, and they feel really good here. They also played a lot of games already. I mean, the same can be said of the Bang Bush, but they had a bit of a break. They could analyze that style that 30K was showing in the previous series. But so far, it is a North American team that's taking it here. The bans on the supports, Brightwing is taken away. We have Lucio banned out immediately. But Dragonshire is, of course, a very, very different beast to the other maps that we've seen. And we only had it, I believe, once in this tournament so far. Maybe twice. Might have missed one.
All right. Ban number 2. Are they thinking about the rail? They have to be, right? Yrel is so strong on this map.
And Yrel is really powerful here. So if they feel that Liam is the problem, it might be something that they're adjusting. But it's something that Cattle locked in over and over again against Tempest, and also now in the first game as a first pick, if I remember correctly, against the Bang Bush. So tanks get really focused. And Cattle did a fantastic job. He stayed alive throughout all of this. He has really nice timings on his Iron Skin as well. Knows exactly when to use it, when to let it slide, and keeps that cooldown for the final moment. Swampgrotta now with Blaze. I'm hyped. I mean, this is fantastic for the Red team, but is the Bang Bush in any way really affected by this.
I just love the Diablo ban. It's so funny because in our last 3 series, game number 1, it's always left open.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, we can handle it. We got an idea. And then game number 2, it just becomes an instant ban and then 1 too big. And he'll continue to be a main focus. But with Johanna being there, suddenly your tank options start to get a little bit more limited. Nubrak has been the probably uncontested 3rd pick for a lot of our teams. And then Murden has actually been banned out in some rosters for 30K if it doesn't get in the 2nd and 3rd pickups here. So Bang Bush needs to really consider, do they want Murden now? Because it could be taken away. We've seen it twice now in this tournament as a ban.
Yeah, Nagrom really has to decide what he wants to play now. We got Jojo banned, we got Diablo banned, that limits the pool. Muradin always great on Dragonshire, and he gets locked in immediately. I mean, Muradin was always amazing here. He's a real meta pick for Dragonshire, and that was always the case. I mean, back in the days with Muradin and Tyrande just roaming Dragonshire as one of the few maps in the pool and just trying to drop people with one stun into another.
That was the combo.
Yeah, Miranda.
Good times. Maybe we're getting an old one to come back here.
I mean, to be fair, in the qualifiers we had a few Tyrandas.
Did we, yeah?
Not a whole lot. It's really a pick where you have to also see what your opponent does. If they are all of a sudden locking Genji in, then it's really tricky to keep her alive.
Sure.
But some of the teams pulled it off and did a good job there. And honestly, Henning is one of the players that played Tyrande a few times. So it is an option, but I'm not sure if they're going to bust it out here in the finals. And if they do, then the situation has to be really perfect. She's not a support that is easy to play right now.
Yeah, you have to set the tempo.
And deservedly so, not a top pick in meta priority.
Gotta set the tempo, gotta be the one getting all the engages. If Tyrande is dealing with the engage coming her way, she really sacrifices the healing, especially if the pressure has a Genji, as you were mentioning.
Now you have Urel, Nubra, Genji. I mean, they're coming for you.
Okay, a lot of dive available here.
Yeah.
If a Nubarak and Urel decide they want to kill a target, Kier will be there every single time. We've seen the team coordination here, so Bangbush needs to be making sure, do we have enough protection? Can we handle a Genji if they come their way? Do we have CC? What options are available for us to make sure we can shut that down? We've seen Malfurion as a potential pickup. Oh, we're getting it. The Kerrigan and Karazim, they are going to answer damage and dive with damage themselves.
Yep, my CC is stronger than your CC. Here we go, Ultralisk with Kerrigan. It's actually crazy to me. Ultralisk is, I believe, the youngest player here, or at least the youngest player on the team.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, he's the one that usually shoulders most responsibility with his pick. If he messes up on Kerrigan, this is just all over. He's really the one that needs to make the engage happen. Yes, maybe he can follow up on a Jet Propulsion, on a Stormbolt, but generally speaking, as a Kerrigan player, you gotta be ready non-stop and then hit your combos hard in order to have a massive impact. Then they have a lot of dive and damage and stuns, of course, too. But this is one of those combs where if you don't execute properly, you're not all on one page, you don't commit when you should, then it can easily turn against you and you find yourself on the back foot. And then it's very, very difficult to get those engages happening again unless your opponent oversteps.
And speaking of star heroes for certain players, Fromy coming out for Madara here as he is looking to show what he can do with the character. And one of the things that his Chromie does compared to other Chromies that we've seen in this tournament is they really focus on time traps. Adoro normally at level 4 allows you to have a couple of time traps available, and he will literally just bait his teammates with their permission to get into team fights that work out for them. It's a great way to retreat away from a fight if things don't work out for you, so watch out for that.
Game is up, so let's go, everybody. We got a game number 2 in the best of 7 series, the grand final. Dragonshire is the map. And we have a pause by Cure.
The 30K pause. We learned about this yesterday, the traditional one. And,
I got baited.
When Diamond Hands was facing off against 30K, they actually countered this with their own pause about 15 seconds later. So that is a play that Bangbush needs to consider.
We have a pause meta now.
Yeah, it's a pause meta. It's your thing. You get into like the flow. You're like, all right, I'm ready to go. Your blood's flowing. You're ready to go.
You count out the seconds.
Yeah, you gotta get in there, man. Disrupt people.
We're back up. Apparently a sound issue. Here we go. On the left side, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Europeans. They're down 1 map in this best of 7 series at the grand final of the Heroes International Miami. Hanging on Karazim, Skog on Anzo, Ultralisk on Kerrigan, Swamgrotta on Blaze, and Nagrom is playing Muradin.
And up 1-0 in this best of 7 series on the far right. Kira on Genji, Madara on Chromie, Legacy on Rhaegar, Cattle on a Nubrak, and Liam playing Urel. North America trying to grab a massive lead here in this best of 7 series. Ultralisk hiding in the corner. That's one thing you're going to see from Kerrigan. They are going to linger and play around those minion waves.
Yeah, for sure. Always hoping for somebody to face check that bush hard and run straight into your stuns. But it is just this amount of dive that we have here. It is a little bit bonkers. Cure sees this coming, gives note, the Storm Bolt dodged out, no problem for him. And his Genji is, of course, also spectacular. Tracer is really the key hero that we've seen in the series against Tempest. It was the main reason why the Bangbush banned it out in game number 1. And now we have him on another very, very agile assassin.
Yeah, between Nagrum and Genji, that's where it's going to be. Oh! Stormbolt comes out. Kier sneaks away. He's like, oh, that's...
Caster Curse is hitting hard here.
That's like arrogant. Yeah, we're going to see Kier versus Nagrum a lot on this map, mostly because they're going to be the roamers. Murder's going to be trying to jump on the top lane, working on that side lane, but Genji wants to do the same for his opponent as well. So it's all be about that bush control, who gets the vision first, and Murder's going to be the one that has to be proactive, where Genji can be a little bit more reactive in this matchup.
Karazim also, later on, once we hit level 10, will likely go into the 7-sided strike, and then they are going to attempt to blow targets up if they can isolate them. I love this one. Cure moving in, saying, like, yeah, I'm going to check the camp here real quickly, and sees Nagrom coming around. It's like, all right, see you later, boys. Like, I don't really want to be here.
I'm kind of a fan of slamming the ground just around Genji, just like, I'm here. Just looking like he wants to threaten him. Top right, actually, with the Burden continuing the flanks, with Kerrigan right there as well. They're looking for a possible fight on Cattle, but Cattle wisely goes for the minions. Those minions will be the meat shields that you need to dodge a Stormbolt.
Yeah, Liam also still fighting it out with Blaze at the top. A little bit of a staring contest there too, but we'll see who eventually has to give up that shrine. Down to the bottom of the map though, Skork is doing his best to shut down those siege shrines. And I gotta say, Skork had a couple of games earlier where he initially was absolutely inting.
Oof.
Oh yeah, talking about it right here. Here we go.
Is that a caster curse or a caster truth?
No. I mean, at this point, it was Towers of Doom in particular. I talked to Dequaza about it a bit. It was just like, because in the late game, he all of a sudden started to just like hate heroes so hard. It was incredible. He made solo plays all day long. But at the start of the game, he was running it down completely. Dequaza was laughing about it too and was saying like, yeah, I don't know what happened here, but he went from hi, I'm feeding to boys, I'm going to take them on myself. In this case, he dies early. If that's a good or a bad sign, I don't know, but it's still first blood for 30k.
Yeah, that's kind of how Hanzo works. He scales up over time while finishing up his stacks as he has that level 1 quest for his W build. So that damage will ramp up later on, but you do have to be careful in the early game where that will occur. Now, Liam currently in a 2v1 with his Urel, doing his best here to hold the top shrine, while meanwhile in the bottom lane, 3K grab the Night Camp. They are seizing the tower wall. They have the shrine control, and Bangbush is having a hard time managing this.
It's great damage from 30k. They got the extra camp, and now they are breaking through the wall here, maybe even damaging the fort itself, and they want the kill. They come in hard and they take Karazim down. Easy peasy execution, but Liam, wow, he gets away.
180 HP.
Nice.
That's actually massive because Bangbush is at 2 in the top lane for the last 2 minutes. Oh, 30k is out here destroying as they find another pick. Kier steps up and starts looking at Skull here as he's trying to make him push away as the rest of his team
that
works on the fort.
3 kills for 30k, not losing Urel, and now taking the fort down. That is a mad advantage now. They're a level ahead at this point, and they're just looking stellar here. Now, keep in mind, they lost in the winner bracket semi to the Bangbush. It didn't take a single map. It was a clean 3-0 for the blue team. And now we're seeing the exact opposite up to this point. Not only a 1-0 lead for 30k, but also a very clean start into the second map of this one. North America looking very, very good up to now.
After 3 picks and a nice level lead, finally Bangbush was able to wrestle away that top shrine with Blaze. Merton's actually rotating over as well. Liam actually hasn't left his lane. He's actually tapped and finally got his mana back. He's been down to under half HP and half mana for the last 4 minutes, but he's just making it work. They're bringing everybody here. They are tired of Liam, and Liam just jumps over. Here's Ultralist. This is actually all 5 up here. He's still alive. This man is ducking and dodging, and meanwhile, the rest of the map is being taken away.
I mean, but now we know they need 5 to take him down.
Hey, sometimes you got to find the numbers, right?
Yeah, and now we know they need all 5 heroes, and then they can finally take him down. That was one of those, all right, we finally had enough of you.
Yeah.
It was like, this is it, and if we have to sacrifice the map, we don't care anymore, but you're going down.
And good eyes on 30k with Liam buying all that time. They grabbed both the giant camps in the bottom lane. You can tell by the map being completely painted orange. They got some pressure on the middle of the map as well as they started working on those towers. Great trade out for them as they now hit level 10, and Bangbush just collects level 9.
Yeah, and the Bangbush is turning into a pain bush here. They are experiencing tons and tons of pains in this game. Somehow they have to close the experience gap to get to 10. Maybe get, I mean, this is Dragonite territory now for 30k. Swamgrotta gets hit by Liam, and Madara is not able to connect any damage. Murden tries to take over the top and might just be able to pull that off. Yeah, they're taking this back, but there's the rotation, the stun, Ultralisk, he dies.
Ultralisk having a hard time with this Kerrigan.
Now, to be fair, that was something that they risked simply because they had to prevent the Dragonite from being taken. So that was a calculated one where they just said, if we don't do this, then they're going to grab a Dragonite. We don't have level 10. They push with objective plus level 10 abilities. That's probably too big of an issue. So if we have to sacrifice one of the heroes, then they knew the rotation was coming. You could see they just didn't get back fast enough.
Main focus for 30k is now on the top lane as they have moved Chromie and Rhaegar up here. It might as well with no fort in the bottom left. There's no point in having a siege or siege away if you have nothing to siege. Shrine does get grabbed. Here's a Stormbolt. Another combo out, hitting on the way over. Kerrigan making her way to the bottom lane there, and Kerrigan is that kill potential here for Bangbush. But with the 7-sided strike being here and an Ultralisk picked for Ultralisk, they are looking for massive CC and deleting one member.
Yes, Bangbush is at this point trying to stabilize. They got the level 10s now. They prevented the Dragonite from being taken. They still have to push the lanes out a little bit. They're attempting to take control, but they have to deal with this one level lead for 30k. And that's where they need to either get kills or we need to make sure that the next team fight is going their way. Get some space on the map, maybe grab an objective, but they're still playing from behind here. There's no doubt about it.
30k just keeping the pressure, though. They're moving towards level 13, grabbing the night camp. Every single camp that spawned, aside from the one in the top left corner, they have been grabbing for the last 5 minutes of this game. They are in complete control. Now, Bangbush may have to find a bush to set up and try and get a pick here, because there is a lot of slow rotations happening from 30k where one person is isolated. Kira in particular is trying to bait out a lot of cooldowns, not being able to manage it, but it's K. He just kind of ease away afterwards. Madara, however, is setting up a massive push on the bottom lane, and he's going to start working on that wall.
Yeah, Cure got pretty much just one job this game, at least up to now, and that is piss them off as much as you can. And he's doing a wonderful job at that. He's just making sure that he is dismounting them as much as he can. He is always like poking a little bit, scouting for the team, and he makes a very safe play here every time, just like dipping his head in a little bit and then retreating. And now it's again another threat on the Dragonite with a level 13 talent advantage for 30k. These talent leads are what they're waiting for, and they can't get the connect. The Stormbolt didn't hit, and therefore the composition or the combo of Ultralisk's Kerrigan also didn't land.
Yeah, this is kind of a lesson from 30k about not utilizing abilities that you don't have to use. Kato has been in a position where if he ever does see Kerrigan, he always has his burrow charge up. He doesn't want to give her the opportunity to find a kill, because if she does catch you, it will be a deletion. Hanzo Arrow comes out, will hit here on Kato, and that is going to give Dragon over to 30k, and they are hoping to open the middle of the map. No, actually. Dragon is heading to the top side while Medora sieges away.
Yeah, everybody else is sitting in the middle. Nice objective now for 30k. They did well here. They really, really kept them on their toes the entire time and created the space for Urel to get the Dragonite. Well, they were still fighting. Liam was always aware that he's close enough that if the shit really hits the fan, he can jump in and help him out, but he didn't even have to. So he could channel it through, and now that means more structural damage against the Bangbush and an increased lead for 30k.
Going into this draft, I was wondering, how does Ultralisk get on Madara? How do you jump in there and get to the Chromie? And suddenly that question has gone from how do you get to Chromie to how do you get anybody in this map? They're so slippery.
Yeah, they definitely are. And this can, of course, turn. Once that these combos land, there is a real threat that we're going to see some kills. But up to now, it just hasn't happened.
Time trap, saving Cattle. No major follow-up coming in from Henning. Kerrigan lurking on the side, but Kier scouts that out once again. Big jump in as he tries to hit Kier. Oh, there's a Stormbolt. Immediate unstoppable coming out from Legacy. And Murden deleted.
Goodbye. The dwarf is down. Chromie just wrecking them here. And that is mad damage from her. And with all those stuns, this is a problem. The stun combo finally hits, but they just don't have enough here to deal with it. There's also no Murden to help them out. Arrow came out to save the day, and so did the bunker. But a mad amount of pressure from 30k as they are hoping to take another kill and maybe the middle fort.
Big cooldowns being used. Ultras uses an ice block, immediately has to run away from Liam as Liam keeps pouncing on top of him. Combo comes out, 7-sided strike, and Liam gets deleted. Finally, Bangbush finds their own kill, but they're going to lose it for in exchange.
Yeah, they lose the fort, they got a kill, now they have to try and use that momentum. It's half a level to 16, and Liam had no chance to even use his ult. I mean, he got blown up within half a second. stunned through it too, and now the big chance to maybe get something going here. Whereas Cure seems to have a bit of a problem with his sound again or so.
Yeah, quick little pause.
Madara fell off his chair.
Oh, he fell off his chair. That is unfortunate.
I mean, honestly,
I hope he's okay.
At that point, you should get a yellow card for pausing. I mean, that is clearly on you. That is not a problem.
This man's like leaning so far in, his chair just falls out in the back. Been there, honestly. That happens occasionally.
I'm so, like, I'm not even sure. We might have had that on the camera. I had the camera on them, so that was probably on the camera at the bottom left even.
If so, can we please get the replay?
Yeah, there has to be a clip somewhere, but boy, oh boy. Madara, it has to be in the camera. I mean, he's literally third person on it, so glorious. I mean, that is the best pause I've experienced in my life.
That's better than 3-2-3, a little bit. It's really, really good. 16 about to connect for 30K, and they're going to continue to have their lead. 2 forwards down for Bang Bush. Not a scratch on 30K's infrastructure. Bang Bush is starting to get to a point where if you look at the mini-map, they are starting to group as 3 to 4 as much as they can, as they're trying to find that angle, that one moment that can bring them in the game and switch the momentum, because 30K is starting to run away with it.
Yes, they absolutely are. Now, the shrines are activating in 10 seconds. You have a bit of time to soak for 16, so I don't think they're going to get a freebie on the Dragon Knight. But what Bang Bush really needs, as you said, they need a fight that goes their way, where the stuns connect, where everything works, and then you can try and carry the momentum. But so far, they never had that opportunity, really. They got some isolated kills, but there was never enough to really build on it, and they always had to pay for it. Pay for it with ports and other things that they lost on the map. So 30K, they are currently dominating this, and they are calling the shots on Dragonshire.
Sun and Moonshine do spawn. Dragon Knight is available for the taking. 30K will be the first ones to go ahead and start grabbing those. That will turn orange here while the Night Camp grabs picked up here for Legacy. That'll push in the bottom lane, and you're going to have Bang Bush respond to that. The question is whether or not they're going to be able to delay this dragon being grabbed. And it looks like that's going to be a case of nope, as Liam grabs the dragon and he starts to roar his way down the lanes.
Blaze was trying to take the shrine at the top, and he was just simply too late. They didn't even try to prevent anything happening in the mid lane. They thought they had it. They thought they had the interrupt, and they just didn't. So now it's 5 kills to 2 and another Dragon Knight pushing. And of course, 30K is aiming for the bot lane. The wall is opened up. You want that keep. And once you get bot lane control, these camps are going to become so much more dangerous.
All right, massive push. Can they hold this keep? Bang Bush in a position here to start with the wave clear. Ska gonna have to be perfect when it comes to these explosive arrows. Ultra steps up, starts building a shield, and Urel just kicks him away instantly.
Yeah, nicely done. Nagrom jumps out, hasn't used his ult yet. They're very, very stingy with a lot of the ults here, but finally, we're not going to see Muradin use it probably soon. He's pretty low. Nagrom needs to be careful. There's a lot of stuns on the other side, but he's still just jumping in, clapping. The keep is gone, though. Big problem for them. Top 4 is going to fall.
Time trap.
Yeah, the combos are hitting.
Oh.
And there it is. Ult or no ult, Muradin dies, and so does Karazim. 30K, they want the game. They want the 2-0 lead. And Bang Bush is in real trouble in this series.
Another knockback straight into a wall, and that is 3 down. 30K marching their way to the core. Kerrigan here having to hold it by herself with the help of Skog on the right, who Liam is just straight up diving into. And remember, he has an ardent defender. Kier goes in. He finds a 4th kill. Kerrigan all by her lowsome. She goes for a combo. Is that going to be 5 picked up? Yes, it is. 30K with a decisive lead here, and Dragonshire is going to go up 2-0 over Bang Bush with a dominant performance.
Fantastic play by NA. They take the first 2 maps in the best of 7 series. And, well, Bang Bush has to reset after this. They came in, they knew that this wouldn't be as easy as it was in the winner bracket semifinal. And game number 1 should have been a victory for them, but maybe they took it too easy, a little bit too early. They got punished for it.
Yeah.
The lead went to 30K, and now on map number 2, it wasn't even close. From start to finish, dominant performance from 30K, and Bang Bush just never found a way into the game, really.
They need to find a way to deal with Liam, straight up. Liam is able to just do whatever he wants. There was a moment where they had to do a 5-man gank on him, and he still bought 10 seconds of time for the rest of his team. Liam on Urel is a problem, and Bang Bush is going to have to figure that out. Lucky for them, they got a few minutes to think about it as they're about to be heading into a break and getting ready for game number 3. Welcome back to an incredible series. We move into game number 3. North America up 2-0. 30K coming out here against Bangbush. Game number 1, back and forth series, a lot of a really good defense. Game number 2, NA looking dominant, Khaldor.
They definitely are. 2-0, that is massive for them. This is a best of 7, of course, so they need 2 more map wins to take the grand final here. We're going into game number 3, and it is going to be Towers of Terror, a completely new principle that we are bringing in here at the event in Miami. A little bit of a mix of Garden of Terror and Towers of Doom. At this point, the Garden Terrors are just shooting seats at the opponent's core.
Yeah, exactly. You just get in there. I mean, the towers are pretty darn deadly. Yeah. Lucio and Diablo being banned out, and this is my question, Khaldor. What is Bangbush going to do against Yrel?
Honestly, I hope just that at this point, well, I'm okay with them not necessarily banning Yrel out. I'm fine with them if they want to do that, but yes, they do it. They ban Yrel out. But either way, what was really important for them is, I think, to use this break, talk to a couple of the other players too, because you still have Dequaza sitting in a crown, you have Masquerade there, and they've been talking to them consistently. And of course, they have a completely different perspective on how these games go, so they can coach them a little bit and can say like, hey, how about you approach it like this? How about you ban that? Maybe go for a draft that you played against us in scrims. And all of this is happening right now. So we have Bangbush against 30K, and the big map is this one. I think if 30K takes this, they take the championship. I do not see a comeback for the Bangbush if they're going 0-3 here. I don't think that is going to happen. If the Bangbush, on the other hand, is able to reset with this one, put the first point onto the board, then I think they got a shot.
Yeah, this is a map where they really need to put their foot in the ground. I completely agree with you there. Now, there is a bit of adjustment here for 30K. They actually grabbed Brightwing first, finally looking for those globals. Brightwing's been a main focus for them in bans on maps in particular, but here with them having a first pick available to them, they decided to go ahead and grab Brightwing. Hogger and Johanna. Where on the opposing side, we have Dahaka and Sylvanas.
Dahaka and Sylvanas, so already we're having potential pressure on 2 lanes against 30K. And that is something that we've seen 30K do as well. Especially Cure has been pulling that off multiple times when he went into Falstad, when he went into split pushing with other heroes too, just trying to keep the pressure up while the team was fighting. And it led in one of the games even to a victory for them. But now with Dahaka and Sylvanas taken, Bangbush has an opportunity to control these side lanes and go for pushes on multiple lanes throughout the game.
Third ban here. Is it going to be a Sergeant Hammer? No, it's going to be my Ev. Sergeant Hammer is something that Bangbush is willing to pick up and split push with. And this is a map that it can be strong on. We've seen it multiple times. Maiev being taken away leads me to believe that we're probably going to see potentially another Genji from here, some kind of tether, some kind of hard aggression. It's hard to go into, but we'll see that in a second as a Nubarak and Rhaegar is grabbed.
Yeah, Nubarak and Rhaegar here, so they can dive for the noob now too, and they can also use him to a push as well. If a Nubarak approaches the towers, drops a couple of beetles, you're getting those free shots in. So this is something that really leads to you trying to go into team fights with an engage, with a follow-up from the Haka, with a Wailing Arrow and an attempt at a kill. But you can also use this draft very, very well to try and push on those side lanes and more focus on the macro play.
Genji and Junkrat to finish it out. The wave clear, the damage, and there's a Sergeant Hammer. So this is compositions that we have seen and expected from North America and Europe. And now it's about who clashes and who pulls out the W.
Absolutely. And this, again, is crucial for the Bangbush. They need the win here. If not, it would be such a tall order to make a reverse sweep in the best of 7 series. It's nearly impossible. So Bangbush, I think they have a draft they're very happy with. Yeah. They have all the tools now. They can literally, if they want, split on to 3 lanes and push 3 lanes with this lineup. But they also have teamfight potential. So they're in this nice situation where they can make the shot calls depending on how the game flows. But they still have to execute it properly. And of course, 30K with a very strong setup for themselves.
Yeah, I think they have a draft they want too. I mean, probably would want Yrel instead of Hogger if they could, but Hogger is definitely a character that Liam can pop off as well. He has been waiting for years to be in a finals like this, in a tournament, to show off his skills. He's been grinding day in and day out. Make no mistake about it, it's not going to be easy for Bangbush. 30K is here to win. Let's hop into it. Garden of Terror. Bangbush taking on 30K. Game number 3. The North Americans are up 2-0.
At this point, we have on the left side of the screen, it is 30K. Well, it is Bangbush on the right side of the screen. I got baited. I got baited again. We got 2 teams. We have on the left side, Henning on Rhaegar. We have Nagrom on Anubarak, Svamgrotta on the Haka, Ultralisk on Sergeant Hammer, and Sylvanas played by Skok.
On the far right, 30K already up 2-0. Kier's going to show off his Genji, Kato on Johanna, Liam on Hogger, Madara on Junkrat, and of course Legacy playing Brightwing.
Start into the game, top side, that's where the first push is happening. Nagrom together with Sylvanas is trying to get some tower damage in, but 30K was ready for that one. Hogger gets some assist from Cattle's Jojo, as we now have at the bot side, Sergeant Hammer trying to execute more or less the exact same thing.
Now this is a strategy that we've seen once pulled off so far in the tournament by Bang Bush. They used it on Cursed Hollow. They tried to get it in other series, but the Sergeant Hammer was banned out as a third ban. So 30K was fully aware that this is a strategy that could be coming, which means they have a plan. Ultralisk getting knocked back. Junkrat is one of those characters that is very, very annoying towards the Sergeant Hammer and will be utilized. Dahaka comes down, has a drag. Can he land it? He hits it, but an immediate cleanse coming in from Legacy.
Yeah, gets the cleanse out. Liam at the top now, also under pressure, but there's always Cattle that can assist him if need be. Nice reactions from both teams, but a lot of cool splits happening now. It's not the traditional setup, and that was expected with this particular draft. Bang Bush with a lot of mobility on the map, and 30K is reacting very, very well. But Hogger finds himself in trouble and needs Cure to assist him on the camp at the top.
Yeah, taking a bit more damage than he would like, down to 100, but here's a Brightwing, here's a heal, she says. She provides
Look at Ultralisk weaving those auto attacks in like a boss. One right click after another, all of them on point. Incredible play here by him, turning the turret time and time again, and oh my god, he's even moving now. It is insane.
60 APM,
what
60 action per minute, one right click per second.
You know, those are the plays that an average player just cannot emulate.
Very rough. I've tried once. I could only do it every 3 seconds, and that was me pushing the limit with a couple of energy drinks.
Dude, I always messed up. I started left clicking instead of right clicking, and it just messed up everything. It was such a shit show.
Well, both sides are going to have this constant tug of war on the top side. Swamp and Crew are trying to defend against the push coming in. They have the Giants to help out. Giants is low for 30K. Almost darn near perfect macro play, but it comes down to the heroes and what can be pulled off. There's a big boot coming in from Madara as he attempts to bring Sergeant Hammer closer, but Sergeant Hammer able to walk away, and with walls being destroyed, very, very even here with 30K getting a slight experience lead.
So far, not a single kill in the game. We're 2.5 minutes in. Pressure has been mounting up from both sides. The first seat now spawning too. There's the drag. I mean, Swagoda's not going to get a kill in against Liam, not with Brightwing being around, but he's at least able to slow them down a bit. And, well, tried this a little bit too close to home. So loses time here on the move back. Maybe even getting another drag. Sylvanas is jumping in too. We got topside and Nubarak even attempting to cut a path of retreat off as the seed is being chosen. But Liam is able to walk back to the wall with Brightwing, no problem. The seed going over to 30K as they take the first objective.
First seed here, 6.5 to about 6.25. Do have a pretty decent amount of aggression here in the top lane. Hogger starts spinning here with a Brightwing phase shift coming in. They're trying to lock down the back left. Skog in trouble. Gonna go with the Haunting Wave to escape, but Liam is trying to chase him down. Finally, he is able to get out of there. Oh, but Kier shows up. Here's a couple of auto attacks. Here's a couple of heals, but Kier actually goes too far. It gets taken out.
Genji is dead, Rega with a kill, and that is first blood in game number 3. And so far in the series, the team that got first blood also decided the map.
Oh,
so good sign for the Bang Bush here. They're starting this off with even more pressure now down to the bottom of the map. But Madara is ready. He wants to get the pull here. He wants to threaten Sergeant Hammer.
With the seed spawning in about 7 seconds, the second seed will be grabbed. This is in an advantage place here for Bang Push, as it is in the top left corner. Sergeant Hammer, though, not wanting to leave this bottom lane in any way, shape, or form, continues with the pushes. And 30K getting to a point where they have to respect it. They bring 4 down and are looking for a kill if anyone oversteps.
Bot side, there's Ultralisk again with Sergeant Hammer pushing back quickly as the entire team, nearly the entire team of 30K was homing in on the bot lane. They're trying to get now also a seat for themselves, and there's not going to be an interrupt. So we're looking at 1 seat on each side in a second. Single kill in the game, and everybody knows that this could be the big one. If 30K takes it here, again, I think it would be absolutely impossible to make any kind of move for the team in blue to come back, and they lose Sergeant Hammer. So now Ultralisk goes down, 30k with a kill, and that was exactly what they needed here, and they're immediately trying to capitalize on it.
Look at this, 4-man rotation in the bottom lane. They want to stop Sergeant Hammer having a place to retreat to. Dahaka on the top side can also rotate in here as well, so 30k, while they do want to apply pressure and do want to break down the wall, you always have to respect that idea that potentially Svamgranta comes down here on Dahaka and forces a tongue. 9.5 to 9. On the experience, 1 seed apiece, and Garnet Terra continues to prove that we have really close games, man, if we focus on the macro.
We definitely do. Level 10 is so close now as well for 30k. It's a tiny window that they have, but if you can... the camps are taken. I would have said you can maybe try and sneak one of the mercenary camps of the opponent away if you time it properly, but that half-level lead that they hold right now is most likely not going to accumulate to anything. They might have the early hit on the seed and get the second one, but it's so close. I mean, Heroics are ready for the bang bush. If they want to interrupt, they're going to get it, but they're not attempting here. They still have the Haka at the top, and they're trying to get value there.
Okay, so North America set up for a potential Plant Terror phase if they get one more seed on the next one coming in. Meanwhile, Bang Bush disconnected that 10. Nothing too crazy in terms of Heroics being chosen here. The Ancestor Healing may be the biggest adjustment, as with Korea we saw a lot of the Bloodlust, but for Europe it continues to be a mainstay for them.
Yeah, 1 kill for 1 now, a little bit of a skirmish in the middle between Genji and Nubarak. And the seeds are spawning once more, so nobody has really committed to a big team fight just yet. Everybody is completely happy to playing this out slowly. We have 2 seeds now for 30k, which means that Bang Bush will have to respond to this unless they are okay dealing with the Garden Terrors this early in the game, which could be a thing for them. It's not really a good position for them to go to the top right here, and they might just let this one slide. We'll see. It's always a bit of a big ask if your opponent has an objective available, but we're still early in the game. It's 6.5 minutes in. They got a good composition also to deal with them. So they could just decide to let this one go, but we have them moving over and at least trying to poke it out a bit.
Yeah, well, just going to your point with it being 6.5 minutes, that Planetary in the early game is pretty easy to clear up if you're able to get that bulb, and with you having a Global and Sergeant Hammer available too, it's usually relatively on the solid side unless you have a full 5-man push coming your way. Around 14 to 15 minutes is where those Planetarians actually become a little bit more terrifying for those forts, as they're able to get 2 to 3 more bulbs down thanks to the health being massive for them.
BFG, of course, for Ultralisk can also be used to interrupt if need be. I mean, it's not really cool on you want to drop, but if you have to stall it a bit more, this could be something that becomes important in the later stages of the game when you have the lanes pushing, and maybe you want to buy a bit more time to give Siege Giants, a camp, or even some catapults time to drop a keep or do core damage. But for now, it's level 12 for both of them. And here comes the Haka. They're committing. They want the drag, but he misses. Madara is still safe, even though he is forced back. Hogger still at the top lane, trying to push another wave out, but it is the Bang Bush that take position, and with Sergeant Hammer, this is going to be difficult to fight into. They're looking for the interrupt, and they get it, but here comes Genji, attempting to pressure Ultralisk back, but so far, it's unsuccessful.
Yeah, Kier was in a 2v1 there for a second. He took some decent damage, but also displayed some as well. Legacy comes in for the heals. Kier jumps in just to go for the disrupt, is able to E away at the last second. Liam in a position also here to delay. Here comes the tire. It gets actually destroyed, but Svamgrante pulls back. He sees Genji, he wants to move in. Ancestor Healing comes out from a Nubarak, and 30k is just sieging away.
Yeah, 30k is trying their best here, but they are having such a tough time pushing into Sergeant Hammer. Duh. But yeah, it's not possible. Kira has just given up that point. Another big sip of that energy drink, trying to get the fingers a little bit faster and the heart pumping.
I just love how close this series has been in general. 30k is up 2-0, but it's still been a bit of a stress for Elias team. Yeah. Wonderful games here for our grand final, and the next seed will be Planetary.
I gotta say though, game number 2 was very, very dominant from 30k. Exactly. That was exceptionally well executed. They did such a great job there to control the flow of the game from start to finish, and Bang Bush never really got a foothold. So now this is a completely different thing that we're seeing. Both sides have 2 of those seeds each, which means that this one that spawns at the bottom left is the first objective on the line. So now with Sergeant Hammer trying to get into position, this might be a repetition of what we just saw. 30k trying to push in, and then it's all a question of whether or not the Bang Bush can keep Sergeant Hammer safe.
Madara frantically on the top lane, attempting to clear out those giants. Meanwhile, Hogger gets the bottom lane pushing out as well, which will siege that 4 if it's not dealt with due to the wall being taken down earlier. Kier steps up just to slow down any rotations that come in from the opposing side. Skog, though, waiting in the corner. If Kier is to overstep, he has that mind control, or excuse me, the silencing arrow ready to go.
1-1, 13-14 right now. Top side. Here comes Skog. Wailing arrow immediately being dropped. Doesn't want to get caught, but that's the blessed shield.
Knockback.
Gets pooped out, and goodbye, Sylvanas. Skog too aggressive. He dies. They try to get a counter kill, and they do. Brightwing is dead. Had to move in to help out and save the day, but then ends up dying herself. The seed about to be taken, and it is terrifying what's happening here on the map. Garden Terror spawning everywhere. Is it Halloween already, or what's going on?
The haymakers continue for both of our teams. The 1-for-1 trade, and Bangbush able to take that away, and this is where we're going to have the plant terrors pushing in. The main goal, grab the forts, and of course delay down the bulbs so you can stop that from happening. Madaro's going to be very pivotal for this defense. His AoE wave clear is monumental on Junkrat, and if things get too hairy, back away, bring in the Riptire.
Yeah, they're going for this once more in the middle, at the top, at the bottom. They split on all 3 lanes right now in an attempt to take some of these forts down. Bangbush and 30k more or less tied in experience, but here's the opportunity for the Bangbush to maybe get ahead in structures. Cocoon out against Genji. They want the kill, they want the follow-up, but Catalyst ready to help him out here. They're trying to drop more damage onto Cure, but Brightwing is helping out too and turns this fight right away into a 3v4, and with also Madara arriving, it's an even battle between the two teams.
Kato was trying to hit that Blessed Shield, but just wasn't able quite to connect it, so that Heroic will be down. But the 16, as you mentioned, is here and available. Bangbush trying to equal back. They know have a slight number advantage here, and they have the global advantage as well. They're going to keep pushing for it. Ooh, last second there. Almost a boo bringing a Nubrak in, but he's able to get away thanks to a cleanse.
It was well executed. 16, much earlier though for 30k, because they have the continuous side lane pressure from particularly Hogger, so they got more experience there. But Bangbush picks the talent up eventually too. Mid lane has taken damage, but hasn't been forced down. And at the bottom of the map, we are seeing Bangbush trying to force the issue, but that also costs them XP, which is why the Haka moves topside. What a BFG! They're trying to jump in a little bit deeper. Brightwing in trouble, and that's a kill.
The heal just wasn't enough. X-Strike comes out though. Kier wants to try and trade out if he can, especially with the aid of the Ford, but a Nubrak comes in with the Burrow Chart. There goes the knock-up into an Impale. That's 2 going down, potentially a 3rd, as Junkrat also gets cleaned up with a web set up. Can they land the drag? Yes, they can. That's going to be 4 taken up, and with only Hogger left, Bangbush is now looking to take more on the map.
4 heroes down, and what a play there. Brightwing was already dead, and then they dove in deep with that stun and the damage. Look at Henning here, following it up too, going in for the bite. It's Johanna and Junkrat falling first, and then shortly after, thanks to the cocoon that was dropped by Nubarak, it's Genji that dies. Hogger with the damage at the top lane. 1 fort has been eliminated, but a lot of momentum now in the hands of the Bangbush.
Yes, there is momentum there, but if you're 30k fans, don't worry. There is still a chance here for 30k to continue to get a W on this victory. In that bottom right corner, you see they have 2 out of 3 seeds. With Genji spawning in about 6 seconds, they should be able to rotate over and potentially contest this. And if they can't contest it, there's always next time. They have time. They are close to experience. Their macro in the early game is still enough here for them to handle Bangbush.
Nicely done so far. We got the 2-0, 6 kills to 2. The lead is not really that big, so it's a really small advantage and experience that we have for the Bangbush. 30k is still alright with that. The problem is really the structures. They lost a fair amount of them. The entire outer ring of defense is gone. Cocoon on Jojo. Are they trying to go for it? They definitely are. They're zoning around her. They want to connect here, and Brightwing is instantly attempting to help, but the stuns, they're coming. The problem is that they're also losing Rhaegar. That's Brightwing and Rhaegar gone. Both of the healers are down indeed.
They sure are, and this makes it really hard. Sergeant has to start running away, and this is where 30k's competition can be great. Their ability to chase is wonderful here with Genji and Junkrat. They keep sieging, and they're looking for a second kill. They get it as Kier goes in and gets a reset. 2 down, no, another one down. A back and forth match between these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all over the place right now. Cure styling first and foremost on Sylvanas, and then it's the Haka coming in and getting the solo kill here. So well done, but he gets caught. Nagrom is on his way to assist him. This game is going bananas here. I mean, kills all over the place. Look at Skog escaping, but then Cure just saying, nope, that ain't happening. And Swamkrota with a kill against Junkrat. This game is getting, it's nuts.
Yeah, this tribute does spawn, and they will have a slight advantage with Brightwing being able to phase shift in right away on the side of 30k, and they try to go for an immediate channel. Bangbush realizes, okay, we need to reset, get all 5 back up. They're going to give it away and build towards that level 20. And 30k, they're actually going to be able to equal out to that 20 as well with these Terrors pushing, and them soaking the top and bottom lane that has 2 waves already available for them.
19 to 19, 8 kills to 4, half a level to 20. Bangbush, they are ahead, but can they do it? First, they have to defeat the Garden Terrors. This is the ticket for 30k to close the experience gap, get to 20 themselves, and maybe take some forts down. If they accomplish that, then they will reset this map entirely. Who is going to take it here? The defense with Sergeant Hammer definitely made it a bit easier, but it looks like down at the bottom of the map, we'll see the red team with an easy fort destruction, or maybe not. Bangbush is starting to commit to this.
Blessed Shield comes out. Kier jumps over the wall, gets some damage. There's a Polymorph coming out. Bleeding Keels continue from Legacy. He gets webbed into the ground. Hogger spinning to win here. X marks the mark as it goes down on Sergeant Hammer. But Ancestor Healing comes in and Ultra's able to hold. He keeps showing away with the right auto attacks.
Oh my god, everybody is just jumping and bouncing from the right to the left and the left to the right.
Like we're bowling.
Hogger is able to get out, actually half out of there. Was able to use that bush to his advantage, and it's a bit too late for the Bangbush to capitalize on this. 20 versus 20, I mean, we are here in the late game with all of the forts destroyed. The only exception is this mid lane fort for the Bangbush. And this is just such a crazy game. If 30k can get that 3-0 lead, it would bring them so close to a championship victory.
I mean, just look how wide this map is. The only thing that's standing here is this one blue fort, and Bangbush is like, all right, I guess we're going to try and protect this, as you have Dahaka trying to manage the side lanes on the top and the bottom. And with the seeds being reset, we have multiple opportunities before we move into another terror phase.
8 kills to 4. Most of the forts destroyed. 16 minutes into the game. Feels longer, honestly. They've been fighting back and forth all game long. A single seed in the hands of Bangbush. 0 for 30k. The next objective could give the blue team a lead that will force 30k to respond whenever another spawns. But now everyone is looking for kills, looking for mercenary camps, tries to find that isolated hero somewhere on the map that they can take down and then snowball it. Bangbush in the middle of the map, trying to defend it, one camp up, and they are headed for it right away.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of here is that Dahaka advantage might be the small edge that Bangbush needs to be able to get the W here, just because Dahaka has the ability to be a little bit more aggressive with the split pushing compared to what Brightwing has. That global is there, but it's more of a defensive type of play, and also he wants to be near these healers to make sure that he can get those beautiful polymorphs in. Now, with the top lane pushing in, Dahaka will have to defend that. Another seed spawning to the top left.
Bottom camp is pushing quite nicely, and that one is pushing for a keep, so somebody has to be sent down there, and it seems like Hogger is the one that is splitting from the rest of the red team. But the seed is spawning in 10, and that window might just be a little bit too small. It seems that 30k is willing to give this one up.
Seed up, ready to go. I think I echo your sentiments here. 30k maybe willing to give this up. I'm looking at Kier, though. He's starting to beeline over. Is there a world where you can get this harassment? Nah, Nagram's in a great spot here to intercept him if he does try to move forward. So the seed count will go up 2 to 3 for Bangbush.
Yeah, they have now real pressure, because once the next seed spawns, 30k has to respond. So they are definitely forced to do that. But wait, they are getting nearly a kill on Nagram, and only the Ancestral from Rhaegar keeps him in play. Here, on the other hand, comes the answer. The cocoon, the stun, the leg, the point, it's Cure, and Cure gets out. He's able to escape. That was such a clutch play on both sides. Oh my god. First the save on the Nubarak, then the turn against Cure, and somehow 30k makes sure that he does not die. But Legacy in real trouble. Cattle also low, and it is Liam who saves Brightwing.
So many plays happening on both sides by multiple people. People are really on top of their gameplay right now, but here is the main pressure point. This third seed is spawning, and 30k needs to get out of heal. Look at this web here, and look at Liam. Bam, goes for the knockup, tries to buy him. Drag comes in, and with the deflect and the knock away, Kira is able to escape.
It's just nuts. What a game. This is like it's the final map of the series, and it seems that Bangbush is giving this seed up. They don't need it. They can give it up without any problem at all. Cure gets attacked here a little bit, but boy, oh boy, what a map.
Giants are pushing in the bottom lane, but that will be cleaned up by Bangbush. Just takes them a bit time to linger on down there thanks to Hammer. And if they do actually head down there, or they overcommit, 30k is primed and ready. They want this fort. They know this is a strong anchoring point for Bangbush, and they want to remove it.
Yeah, we got, at this point in time, nearly 20 minutes on the clock. up to the top side. Catapults are accumulating for Bang Bush, and this is all that the teams care about at this point. Push these side lanes out. Make sure that none of the catapults end up destroying a keep. That's super important. But the issue for 30K is still that every single seed that spawns forces them to react. Now, it spawns on the right side of the map, and that is a really, really good position for them. But at the same time, if the bot lane gets pushed out, if there's catapults amassing for Bang Bush, they will have to send somebody down there too. And they don't have a Dehaka. Their only global is Brightwing. And Brightwing doesn't have near the push power that Dehaka brings to the table.
Oh, man. I'm shaking in my boots here, that second seed being available. Are we going to go to a 2 versus 2 seeds? Bang Bush coming up here.
It could be happening, yeah.
Yeah, in a position here to attempt to try to lay this. This was the first seed on the opposing side of the map that Bang Bush actually did try to contest. That bush in the middle where you see where Junkrat put down that trap is where Dehaka came from. So they're prepared and ready for that to happen again.
Yeah, and Dehaka is going for another clear of a minion wave at the bottom of the map. In the middle, there's another problem because Sylvanas is now assisting this push too, tries to burn another wave down, and does that easily. Cure comes in right away, but Rhaegar was close. They positioned Henning so that if something happens, he's there to save Sylvanas, and Dehaka has moved to the team. As long as they're getting Ultralisk in a good position, they should be able to zone them away.
Bang Bush, though, does have to look at the top lane. Night Camp pushing forward. Catapults will slow that down, but that will eventually get to the keep wall, so a timer does kick in for 30K, and they're going to try and play around that. Genji steps up, puts out the deflect, gets silenced right away. There's the knock-up, there's the impale, and Cure with the X-Strike is surviving, but it's just not enough.
Cure goes down, the cocoon has been used too, the driver Madara, the BFG, but Brightwing with the save. Cure is down, they want more. What a stun again as they're trying to save Junkrat, but Junkrat and Brightwing both die. It's a triple, baby. Bang Bush taking 3 kills, and it all started with the attack against Cure. They got the silence, they got the stun. Cure escaping for a moment with the X-Strike, but eventually it's Nagrom when Sylvanas that drop him, and now it's time for Bang Bush to use the objective, use those Guardian Terrors, and go for the keeps and maybe the core.
25 seconds until Genji is back. That's Cure, and also behind that 10 more seconds for Brightwing and Junkrat. Liam steps up to try to buy some time, has to use the Unstoppable to escape. Sylvanas and crew pushing down the middle lane. This core suddenly exposed. Cattle doing everything they can to clear up. Goes forward with the trait and goes for the condemn and is able to start doing some damage. The shield's starting to get low. Oof! We have Johona taken out, and she's down for 60 seconds. Liam also gets caught. He gets knocked up. Is he going to fall? He's trying his best here to survive. Now over to the core. It's dropping down to 60, down to 50, and the damage continues to roll in.
It's a GG as the Bang Bush takes the victory, and Garden of Terror puts a point on the board. Nicely done by them. Really good move. That was such an important map for the European team, and they are taking 30K down. It wasn't easy by any means. It came down to the wire, the final team fight, and the ability to take Genji out. But that's really what they needed in order to have a chance on this. But let's not forget, they are still behind in the series. This was only game 3 from potentially 7 games that we're going to play here. And the advantage goes to 30K, who have a 2-1 advantage at this point.
I like you pointing out that it was work. There was 13 kills that came into the favor of Bang Bush. Those were kills that took a lot of work and a lot of time. It actually came down to a moment where they had to surprise Cure, because Cure was doing such a great job of being in constant 2-on-1. That entire match, he would always be in a situation where he would play his deflect. And Sylvanas was like, all right, I'm going to make a gamble here. I'm going for the arrow. It lands, and even then, it was this close to Cure actually getting out of that fight. If they don't find that pick, things get much harder for Bang Bush to end the game. It's very, very awesome they got it, but it came at a very high cost.
Yeah, and it was just a crazy game. I mean, they've been fighting non-stop the entire time, and then towards the end, it was... Imagine that one auto attack not coming through and Cure gets out. Then they've blown so many of their abilities on this and can't get anything. Also, of course, the cocoon that we had against Madara at this point. If Junkrat, it can maybe keep them alive a little bit longer, but it was a bit of a snowball, a cleanup job after that. But holy hell, this last fight could have gone a completely different way. Then it's a big advantage for 30K. They have a chance to maybe bring it back, win this, and take a 3-0 lead. But that is, we have quite a series in our hands here.
I mean, you know it's an impressive game when you can look at a team fight. If we watch a replay and go, oh, if that goes off by half a second, or this goes off by a half a second. There were multiple moments where that happened. These two teams are seemingly evenly matched, and that's what makes it amazing grand finals. This is why you have these long double bracket tournaments, to get the teams that are the best to be in front of your face, and we hope that you guys are enjoying it. So let's get ready for our 4th map, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Wave clear, it's all about it, and we're going to see if we can go to a Game 5 with the tie series, or if we can have 30K take a 3-1 lead.
Yeah. Tomb is our next map, and of course, once again, after each double map, we are going for a short break, and after the next one, we are also going to raffle out the final banner. So again, we have these massive banners at the event. We're going to try and also get them signed, but if you want to win one, we raffled out 2 already, then you can do that. And all you got to do is, after we're done, we're going to announce the raffle again, and you have to write in chat, you have to be active there, and then you automatically can participate. Subscribers, people that support the stream, and therefore also the event and the entire work and effort that has been put in over the weekend, will have a huge advantage. But we already raffled out one of them to a non-subscriber, so it's not impossible, but of course a lot more likely. But yeah, that will all happen after map number 4, which is coming up as soon as the players are ready. Yeah, I'm excited for this.
That I am as well. I think Nogrum's excited as well. He actually walked over here when he's getting ready for gate number 4, and he like put his chest down here and showed his chest.
And he has none.
I don't know what that means, but I think it means he's excited for the next one. Usually when clothes are coming off, things are getting exciting. So, you know what? That means we're going in for a game number 4.
Yeah, you're actually right. When clothes come off, then things are getting really exciting. And you know what was also excited in the last one? That was good old Genji. And you know what Genji needed in that situation? Genji needed one thing, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a protection. And we have some Nexus and Chill for him next time that things get a little bit dicey. So if you're running out of Netflix, that's where it's really at. Tim, one for you as well. We're gonna give those to the winners of the tournament too, because again, things get really spicy during the night if you're the champion.
Only the best prize pool here at the.
Can you appreciate how amazing these are, by the way?
These are
Nexus
fantastic.
and Chill. I mean, please.
They really, really are. I can't believe these were actually made. I'm actually holding this in my hand.
Genji needed protection. If he had one of those, he would have survived there, no doubt, and then A would have a 3-0 lead. There is just no doubt in my mind.
That's right.
So as you can see, we got all the goodies here at the main event for this.
Oh, quick update. Apparently a few folks need to go to the restroom, want to calm their nerves for a little bit, so we're doing that really, really quickly. So we have a couple minutes to move forward. So regarding that banner giveaway, just make sure that you're typing in the chat. Be a part of it here as well. Make sure you're staying in the chat as well for when this series does finish. I don't know when you want to do it. You want to do it game 5? Game 6?
No, after this one.
After this game? Okay, so after this game, make sure that you're here. Make sure you have your DMs open. Be ready to respond as need be. And also think about which one you currently have. Have you reached out to anybody that's already won and figured out what they want?
Yeah, we have a washed up banner for the first one. I was obviously casting, so I didn't have time to reach out to the second winner yet, but we'll do that too. And as Tim mentioned, you need to make sure that you let people message you on Twitch, because if not, then we can't contact you and you forfeit your banner.
So Washed Up is currently not available for the banner. That one has been chosen or at least been requested. So think about the other ones available.
We have multiple banners for each team.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Oh, do you?
Yes, we do.
Wow, look at that.
I can't promise you that you get the banner that you want. I can't make any promises, but we're definitely going to try, and we're going to try and get some signatures too. Again, can't promise anything. Not all the players are still here, but the banner alone is already pretty awesome. And again, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is give at least a few people a memorable item. How are these called? Help me, English native speaker.
Memorable is a word that's coming to mind, but that's not the right
That's
one.
what I
But we
just
are
used.
trying to make the week memorable. Souvenir. Souvenir works. You want a souvenir for the tournament? Yes? Yes?
Fair enough.
Souvenir's good. I like souvenir. It's a lot of syllables.
I believe there's another word that I'm looking for.
A collectible item, a moment in history, a time capsule, a memento. That's a good one as well. Wow, there's a lot of English words that represent an item being taken from something.
I was looking for memento, a memento for the tournament here.
Good movie.
Yeah, very good movie too.
That's
honestly how I found the word, because I was like, wait a second, that was a movie too, memento. Yeah,
shout out to Chris Nolan, man, teaching Khaldor new words. My golly gee. All right, so we do have 30K up and ready to go. We are about to have our final player, I believe, move on to the stage as the restroom break is starting to finish up. And with us heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen, a little bit smaller of a map compared to Garden of Terror.
Yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen, obviously, much smaller here. And this is a map where Ultralisk could shine with a Carrick. Oh, honestly, I mean, here, Carrigan, Tracer for Cure, Carrigan for Ultralisk, Maiev. I believe they're going to ban or take Maiev. 30K. Yeah. I don't think that you can get away with leaving Maiev open for Ultralisk.
I mean, both of them, too. Yeah, with Kira playing them, but also on the other side, like, that is just a character that has obviously made prevalent throughout this entire tournament. When you being on a land and being on very, very low ping, she also becomes a lot stronger, right? That decision-making, the small moments, become much more impactful when you don't have to deal with any lag.
Absolutely. And, yeah, if you give Ultralisk Maiev on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you're going to need a shower after the game because he's going to shit on you all game long. It's going to be nasty.
My golly,
so,
wow.
Not a situation you want to be in.
I do think that the bans are going to continue to have Urel be dealt with, especially after game number 3. It did look like Liam was mortal on Hogger. He wasn't poor in any way, shape, or form.
Do you think Liam is happy that he's so important now that target banning him directly, or is he just annoyed that he doesn't get heals Urel?
Everyone thinks that like target bans are like this weird form of BM. It's actually a sense of pride. It's like,
like,
you appreciate my hero so much, you won't let me play on it? Well, let me show you my second favorite hero. It's a really fun moment.
Murky. Oh, that's the first one, probably.
That's the first one for me. Yeah,
Ragnar's Lava Wave?
That one's more of like a math-specific pick. If I actually like was super try-harding, this is, I don't know if I should tell my secrets. Thrall is actually the one that I go for. I love Thrall as my
That is
backup.
fairly normal. I would have expected
I know,
much
right?
worse.
That's
I
why
saw
I
the Gasol coming my way.
What's the point of talking about something popular?
Exactly.
Tomb of the Spider Queen, game number 4. We are ready to go. First pick, we'll be heading over to 30K.
30K has a 2-1 lead in the best of 7. We had the grand final. The North American team came through the losers bracket here, whereas Bangbush was able to make their way to the grand final through the winner bracket. And along the way, they already had to face off against 30K once and defeated them with a 3-0. Back then, NA couldn't take a single map. Right now, the situation is looking very, very different. It's North America that is in the lead against Europe, and we're starting things off with a ban on Lucio. We have Diablo banned again, and we get Liam's Urel banned out too. So pretty much the ban patterns that have been established in the last 2 maps, and both of them adjusting to what is really strong for the opponent. I think we're going to follow that MO probably for the next couple of maps here, maybe with the exception of Blaze.
Yeah, I mean, Europe's been strong for a few years, but it's nice to see North America coming out here and putting on such a showing. And this is also, like, one, a shout-out to the teams themselves, but also the people who've been putting in the work for the last couple of years. Even the people that are scrimming against 30K and Diamond Hands and whatnot. You can tell the level of this region has been brought up a lot, in my opinion, which is something that really breeds that competition and gives teams longevity. So, you know, that should be a victory for everybody here, even the Grand Finals, despite who wins. Hogger and Junkrat picked up.
So Hogger again, the go-to for Liam, once that he doesn't get access to his Urel. But also noteworthy is that we have Johanna as the first pick for Nagrom. Now that is interesting for 2 reasons. Now first of all, it's taken away from Cattle. And Cattle has shown that he really likes to play Johanna as long as Diablo is banned out. Johanna is a go-to for him. And the same is true for Nagrom. So Nagrom is somebody that usually likes to play Johanna, but he didn't have any chance to do that because Cattle was just so adamant about picking it first for 30K, and this time they then said, guys, we need to give this a higher priority or we're not going to get her. And now they're going for the hammer.
After we had this ban phase here, I'm actually really curious if it's going to go over to 30K. A Nubrak obviously has been one of the mainstays and one that Cattle has shown that he is very prevalent on. However, you usually have a bruiser top lane with that, and although Hogger is strong and kind of hard to kill off, he isn't at the strength that Urel and Blaze brings to a composition where they're able to do a lot of chain CC. So I'm wondering if this could be a Stitches pick.
Maybe. I mean, we have seen Stitches from the Europeans quite
We've seen
a bit.
it from Cattle in the past.
It's actually kind of funny out too because Nagrom is one of the Stitches players and he busted out on Towers of Doom quite regularly. And even all the European players are just looking at him and look towards his level 10. He always picks Bile and everybody's just like, dude, why the hell are you picking Bile? Pick Gorge. It was pretty funny when it was happening earlier today. All of Washed Up was commentating on that too. But yes, Stitches, let's see if that's going to be a thing. Hammer and Leo on the other side, though. Ultral is getting access to that early.
There
but yeah,
it is.
The Stitches, you've been calling it.
And they deliver. Anduin, which is one of my favorite things. You put someone in your belly and then you pull them back.
Uh-huh. Kidnap combo.
The kidnap combo, but with not a Medivh.
That's a budget kidnap combo.
It's
if you can't get a Medivh, then you have to go for an Anduin. Like, he's the bad version, yeah, pretty much. Like, if you want to go for a real kidnap combo, Gorge into a portal, it's where it's at. But we get Brightwing and we get Sylvanas, so that's a pretty sweet draft here for the Bangbush. And probably we should highlight Brightwing here too, because so far, if I'm not mistaken, 30K has either banned her or picked her.
I think in game 1 they tried, or game 2 they picked it up. because we did actually see it from them. So yeah, Brightwing's been pretty important so far. So yes, a composition that is strong for Big Bush, and we've seen it multiple times. We know how it unfolds usually pretty well if they're able to get the macro down, whereas 30K is going to be what's considered the burden of execution. They got to try and land these hooks in fights and be able to get a couple of picks, and they have the layers for it. If Cattle can pop off here, get a hook, Anduin pulls in, spits him out, Junkrat has a mine, you can just bounce people around like crazy and not give them a chance to play their characters.
Cure comes in with Hanzo, so this time no Tracer and any of the super mobile shenanigans, but we've seen how much damage Hanzo can do and how important he can be in the late game. Cure is going to be definitely dropping the damage and also can make the solo plays here with that character. A couple of good arrows would help too. 30K against the Bang Bush. Game number 4, everybody. It's Tomb of the Spider Queen, and this one is going to be, again, wild. Can 30K take a win and then go from one match point to another? Or is, well, essentially Bang Bush able to take now a victory and reduce this best of 7 series to a best of 3? Let's see what's happening here. But yeah, super excited. Nice drafts on each side. And I can't wait to find out who is successful on the 4th map.
Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's move on in as we're going to check out 30K taken on Bang Bush. Here on the far right side, a different composition for them as they are showcasing a Stitches, who is being played by Cattle, Cure on Hanzo, Legacy on Anduin, Madara on Junkrat, and Liam playing Hogger once again.
And over to the right side of map number 4, it is the Bang Bush, the European team with Nagrom on Johanna. We have Henning on Brightwing. Skog is playing Sylvanas. Ultrales has called the hammer time. And Swamgrotta is playing his Leoric again, that last time we've seen on Infernal Shrines.
I like 30K's composition here just because I want to watch how it unfolds in the team fights. They have a very interesting, nuanced type of way of playing, and they have a lot of different ways to play. You have the hard engage with Dragon Arrow from Cure. Oh, hang on, Scott, getting some pressure there. One thing that 30K does really well is a lot of people, when they play against Sylvanas, they kind of sometimes slip in the early game, and they don't fully manage a Sylvanas moving forward and grabbing a turret. 30K this tournament, I've seen it 4 times, has been perfect at stopping Sylvanas from taking away a tower.
Yeah, and currently Sylvanas, talking about her, is diving in deep with few hit points since they were looking for an opportunity to get a kill on Cure, and they get it! Swing to the head. Nicely done by Swamgrotta, and he is hitting that one out of the park. But Cure was actually sensing an opportunity to maybe get a counter kill on Sylvanas and nearly made that happen. So you have to be very, very careful when you dive in against him. He's always looking to at least trade.
He was literally one auto attack away from killing off Sylvanas there. Henning coming in with a beautiful play and also finding that polymorph. Night Camp's grabbed right away for our teams. No major losses with that Hanzo pick, slight amount of experience as I believe the gems were picked up. And we'll go straight back to the fight once again. Look how Junkrat and Stitches are kind of playing together. Stitches will always move first, set up a lane, and then Junkrat can come clean it up with those grenades.
1 kill, a little bit of a lead thanks to the camp that they can now take down at the bottom of the map. The Siege Giants will go to the blue team, but of course this is just the opening. But so far, the trend actually holds. The team that gets first blood wins the map. That has been true for all games that have been played thus far. And if the trend holds, then Bang Bush is in for another victory. But let's wait a little bit until we're calling this.
Oh, hang on, Liam. Getting a little bit better, just straight up just running away now with that Hogger. The moment he sees anyone that could step up and sees a 2-on-1. There will be a priority set up for 30K in the mid lane as they actually cleared out the Bruisers and have that pushing in with Stitches. Now their focus is to clearing up these Giants, and then afterwards we'll start seeing who wants to start grabbing these turn-ins as we build up toward that 50 mark.
Yeah, level 4 talents are in by now. Siege tactics here for Sergeant Hammer. Nick obviously has popularized a bit of a different build with the Biosteel lately, and some players have taken over that approach. But right now, it is still the standard build that we're seeing for Sergeant Hammer, whereas on the other side, we're going to have our eyes on Stitches and the hooks that Cattle throws out, especially after he gets level 13 and that extended range that makes that hero so much more dangerous.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about Hammer. She feels like a true hero at level 7 when you do get that hover mode set up. And that should be an opportunity for 30K to say, okay, we know Hammer just wants to chill on the top. Let's put some pressure on her. We'll look at her occasionally. We don't have to force anything, but keep her away and then try to see how the rest of the team rotates and then take our advantages here. And you can see that in the bottom right with the gems turn in. They're at 22 out of 50 already, as they know Bang Bush is staying stationary and waiting for that level 7.
Yeah, level 7 is going to be the big one for them. That's definitely true. Once that Sergeant Hammer has a bit of mobility, things become much easier for the blue team and also much more dangerous for 30k. Turn-ins, that's something where I have to say I love how diligent about them 30k is. They've shown that against Tempest. Tempest, in my eyes, has made it very easy for them to get one Web Weaver wave after another. But even in this game, 30 gems have now been turned in by 30k, and Bangbush still have to deliver. So the North Americans, very diligent, making sure that they're not losing those gems, not keeping them too long. When they see an opportunity, they turn them in and secure them.
Yep, and they certainly have enough here to get that turn in. Ooh, hang on. Leoric is actually a main focus for 30k. It's happened time and time again. They will consistently rotate down. So I like Bangbush starting to understand that and see that. They make sure that Sylvanas is always lurking in the corner just to make sure that he's able to kite backward and get into position, especially if he can't hit that Drain Hope.
Level 7 talents already. Good Foley, but also great with the turn. Instead, we still see coming in for 30k. They want that first Web Weaver wave, and they're getting closer and closer to realizing it. Mara has all of his gems delivered at the top. Cattle still with 14. If he can get rid of them, he's the one that has to turn in for them. If he can make that happen, that would be huge. But Score comes in with damage. Legacy with good positioning here in the back, ready to pull him back out of the fight if there's a problem, but so far that hasn't really been the case.
Hook comes out, Scott next hit, and there's a root afterwards. Cattle showcasing this Stitches. This is something that he's played for years now, and that hook was beautiful.
That hook was glorious, and of course the turn that comes with it is also going to be super, super dangerous. That was incredibly well done, and this is the danger of using this. I mean, I've actually talked about this in the past, but some of the plays that were made during HGC were just simply happening because the hooks add that one element in these games that you cannot always predict, where the hook just can come out of nowhere. You don't even have vision of Stitches, and he is able to hit you hard, throws a prediction hook, makes the right call, and then it turns the game on its head. So Stitches is such an X factor.
Yeah, he's one of these characters that some people think is weak because he can't full engage like a lot of other tanks, but I agree with that. Element of surprise is always something you want to try and mix into your drafts, especially in a best of 7. So that's why he's such a great character for Heroes of the Storm in general. So good clear here in the middle lane with the Red Weavers coming out. We're going to get some walls here on the middle and the top side. I think even the bottom took some damage as well. Yeah, Augur pushed in. We have Sergeant Hammer actually getting bullied out by Madara with the Junkrat grenade. Oh, almost finding the kill there as Ultralisk is like, all right, maybe I go back home and heal.
Yeah, he nearly got Hanzo there. That was insanely close. Good call from Cure, I gotta say. He was like, yeah, why not? Maybe I get lucky. And he nearly hit him hard there. So
simple geometry.
Not too much done in this particular push by 30k, but of course the lineup for Bangbush is very, very good at clearing these Web Weavers and lanes out. They have tons and tons of wave clear. And here's Gorge. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I did not expect anything else. It's pretty much just Nagrom that says, bile, let's go.
Well, Gorge coming in, so now we're going to be looking for the pick composition, and one of the cool parts about this is we could actually have Hanzo do an arrow on the opposing team after Stitches comes in and gets the Gorge to keep them away so they can't save their teammate. Brightwing is going to be under a lot of stress as a healer here. In fact, not even picking up her heroic quite yet. Is there a case where we could have Emerald win?
I personally don't believe so, but time will tell. Maybe they think that they can use that to jump in with Brightwing and then just separate them and save the target that way. But it is the Blink heal that comes in as per usual. Everybody's still poking, everybody's still prodding. The hook attempt time and time again from Cattle. That's what they're really hoping for. That sneaky hook that allows you to get a quick kill. Swamkrota with 33 gems.
Gorge.
There's the Gorge, there's the pull.
Trap.
And that should be a kill. And that's 33 gems down the drain if they can get it.
Brightwing
jumping out, nicely done, but the second hook hits. Here comes the blessed shield, and they sacrifice the gems. And that exactly makes my point. Oh, that could be a follow-up. Nice arrow also with a Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas. But there's so many things to talk about here right now. Point number 1, turn your gems in, for crying out loud. 33 lost on Johanna here. We have 15 turned in again from 30k. Finally a couple being delivered by Bangbush. But 33 gems have just been lost by Jojo. And yeah, that was of course beautiful play here by not only Stitches but also Andom with a follow-up. Brightwing with a really nice move coming into heal, Blink healing out. So many cool plays, but the kills still happen, and that gives 30K a bit of an advantage in the push.
Oh, that was close. Yeah, all eyes are going to be on Cattle after that. That was such an impressive play, and you saw the coordination that can come in. Legacy was ready. There was a trap set up. Medora ready to be in a position for his teammates, and Bangbush is going to be fully aware of that. That 33 gems is going to hurt, but they do have a chance to potentially take it back with a couple of kills on their own. Kira gets locked down. There's a Buzzard Shield, but with the leap of faith, Legacy gets him back. Just right now, the positioning for Legacy today has just been so on point.
Yeah, Henning now trying to turn in and deliver, and he does just before Kira is able to hit him. Blue Web Weavers coming down, and Bangbush, they have to finally start and do some work here. Again, they had 33 gems down. That's not something that they can recover from that easily if they're not getting a few kills. So you want to get at least some headway here. Your opponent has a level 13 talent. That shouldn't be a big problem. They will grab their own in a few moments. But this is their first chance to take some of these structures down on the red team side.
Another hook in the middle lane, actually, right on top of Johanna. She's getting peeled in straight into the middle of the fort. Here comes Anduin's root. They're trying to block him in. Light bomb up. The tray up a little bit too long. Nagram trying to buy time and sneak away from this entire engagement. It looks like he's just going to go ahead and buy some time and go ahead and get sacrificed there as Cattle finds another kill for his team.
I mean, to be fair, he bought a ton of time. I mean, there was Juke City, and that's a fort that went down. I honestly don't know if that was worth it for 30K. Looks great when you're getting that kill, but they lost the fort because of it. It was an insane amount of time that he was buying.
Svomp able to come down here and get some damage on Liam. Liam standing his ground, but that fort is finally going to take some damage as the Web Weaver gets off a cast. Meanwhile, when this Web Weaver goes down, Bangbush in a position to continue getting the giant pressure. They are set up and ready to go. 30K now with their own turn-in available if they can find a way to move on over. And with that top side being open, there is a chance.
Yeah, they have, of course, they have the same amount of the gem lead that they had before. They didn't lose a hero here. 3 kills to 1 in favor of the red team. Structurally, Bangbush has taken a lead. But yeah, it's a wild game again. I mean, it's very, very close. One good hook and 30K is maybe going to get another kill at the same time. Yeah, there's the gorge. There's the wailing arrow. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do with that. That's another kill.
Oh my
Jojo
gosh.
is getting farmed here. And another arrow. Nicely dodged by Uli with a level 4.
This is the beauty of a pick comp. You find it in some way or some form. There, that was Madara literally throwing Johanna into the belly of Stitches. Caterpillar is saying, oh, thank you, I got dinner. Pulls him on back, and then Anduin follows it up, and an immediate kill. And once you take away Johanna...
Oh my god, Cattle, calm down.
I'm telling you, man, Cattle, when it comes to this map, there's 2 maps I like watching Cattle play Stitches on. It's this one, and then, of course, Cursed Hollow. He's so good at finding those angles. He's one of the original Stitches in North America to really... please my brain cells, to be quite frank with you.
I mean, Cattle is hitting everything at this point. This is getting ridiculous. And if he doesn't, then Madara comes in and just boops the targets straight in front of him so that he can gorge them. They have now level 16 coming up, and there's the Web Weaver wave. So now Bangbush is in real trouble. And this is really the moment where they could start losing forts. They dropped 1, but now they got to deal with this. Their wave play is still exceptional, of course. But again, time and time, we're seeing the displacement from Junkrat, and we're seeing those hooks flying. They have to pay attention to so many things at the same time. Very tricky to play, and that's exactly what 30K is now trying to use to pull further ahead in this game.
Tower on the top side, taking some pressure. Savannah's will have to clear that out, but with 30K in the middle, that threat of a potential full engage will occur. Blessed Shield up and used, actually, so off the cooldowns there, trying to get damage on Madara, but it was all space being created, so Ultralisk could clear out the minion.
Yeah, it bought them time, and it was actually well done. So they sacrificed the cooldown, but they get the defense on the mid lane. At the bottom of the map, they lost the fort, which means that both teams are now tied in structures, but that's something that 30K would like to change. They move towards the top in an attempt to drop a few more hit points off that top fort here, and they're getting very, very close to doing so. Whereas Bangbush still has to hope for the level 16. It's a wild game, honestly. The worst thing that happened to Bangbush was really the death of Johanna with the 33 gems. And again, Liam turning in the 21. The second he has an opportunity. They are so diligent about it. I like the discipline that we see from 30K.
Here's the passive effects also of someone being hot with Stitches, right? Hitting all these hooks left and right. It naturally makes you play more passive.
Yeah.
You start double-checking things, and when you're double-checking things, that means you have doubt creeping into your mind.
Absolutely.
And when doubt is infecting you in the middle of a best-of-7 series, it can be stronger than the hooks themselves.
Yeah, now we have, on the other hand, the Siege, the Giant Killer. Another hook, another gorge. This is the moment where you could also have made an argument that maybe it's a good, would have been a good choice to not go Blessed Shield, but go into Falling Sword.
Wow, they really thought about bringing Brightwing in too. Another pick comes in for 30K, as that's going to be a 5-1 so far. Arrow comes down right onto Leoric. He has 22 gems here. If he gets picked off here, this is going to be a hard time for a turn, and Anduin comes in with a nice W. Another hook comes out, and Khaldor right now is just unstoppable.
Khaldor is insane. The hook, the hit, and then Legacy is right there with the pull. So well played, so well done. One kill after another, and now they have the chance to go for the boss. If it happens once, if it happens twice, that's one thing, but the consistency with which he's hitting these hooks and they can follow up on them is absolutely impressive. It's 6 kills to 1. I also am 100% sure that Khaldor, as a fellow German, is the one that is bringing the discipline into the team to turn their gems in time and time again. Yeah. So that's working wonders too. But still, it's level 16 versus 16. Bang Bush, they need to force a fight. They have great team fight potential. They honestly have a great team there, but they're always ending up in a 4 versus 5. It's nuts.
I actually like the focus of trying to pick off Johanna as well, because one of the ways that you can handle a Stitches is if you see him grab a Gorge, you can try and go for a hard engage. I know it's harder against Anduin, but the idea behind it is you try and force something, and one of those options is to use Johanna. Condemn up, get that movement speed, drop in the Blessed Shield, lock him into place if you have the opportunity to do so, and then go for a fight. But if you keep taking away their tank, they can't do that.
56 gems, 4 missing for another turn-in, and I'm sure they're about to deliver. They already had 2 turn-ins. They're working on their 3rd, whereas Bang Bush is still looking at a potential 2nd if they can deliver, but it's just blow after blow. Bang Bush, they are that tired boxer that sits in the corner and is just taking a punch after another as 30K is hammering away. They send the boss topside, he gets defended. They send the first 2 Weaver Waves. They defend. Now the 3rd one is coming, and they are down to their keeps. It is so tricky for them, especially with 30K pulling farther and farther ahead in experience. They're closing in on level 20, and 30K, they're just looking incredible here.
This is something that he loves doing. He loves playing this angle in that top left corner. That little L area is usually a weird area to be in, or even that night camp, but there's a lot of small windows where you can go past the health bar and get off a hook there. So watch for that to happen here. Bang Bush needs to be ready for it. Webweaver gets cleared out in the middle relatively quickly thanks to Ultralisk on Sergeant Hammer, and he moves to the top lane to start working on that as well. Leo in the bottom, though, might be by himself. 30K is coming. Hook comes out. Ooh, and just barely whiffs. He was predicting the dash or dodge there from Leoric, and it just does not connect.
Brightwing helping out too, but this is just not the hammer style that they want to play. They're playing very passive and now always on the back foot, and now level 20 talents are ready, and that's such a massive problem. Your opponent has 20, the world is open for them to take anything they want. The problem is, there's nothing to take.
Yeah.
They have just turned in pretty much all their gems. Well, they have 29, but they have taken the boss. They've had a turn in, so now they can posture with level 20 and try and get that hook again and then go for another kill. But there's very little that they can really send Bang Bush's way to force the issue. They can't take a boss. They can't go for the turn in just yet. So there's a bit of time for Bang Bush as long as they're able to dodge these hooks, which is in and of itself not easy considering how well Khaldor has played this.
Well, 30K fully aware that the 20 advantage is pretty massive here. Goes up for another hook. Unstoppable does pop up. Knockem goes in. Ooh, a Gorge just straight up over the wall. Legacy pulls him in. Don't have a trap quite yet. Here comes the passive, and there's going to be a phase shift. Bang Bush is able to survive for now, but they desperately still need a full level of experience.
Yeah, they are just desperate to keep Johanna alive whenever the hook connects. And that's where we've seen, again, in the past, Falling Sword being used against the Stitches. So when he hooks you, you are the front line, so you are the most likely to be caught there. And once he goes for the hook, you can jump out, you can move away, but that's not happening. So Knockem has to sacrifice a lot and needs the assist from the team. Nicely done again by Ultralisk, dodging out on all of the stuns as Q is trying to take him on. And not only that, Brightwing is also in trouble, but they're 19.5 and they haven't lost a keep yet. They are holding on to it by the skin of their teeth, but they're doing it.
They're doing it. Half a level away. The keep continues to be siege. Eventually that will be taken out thanks to Hanzo and Junkrat with that consistent poke. And I do wonder if the plan for Bang Bush after so many hooks have occurred is do we get to 20 and just pick up Indestructible at level 20? Just get to a point where you can't be killed off as Johanna.
I love this. Liam sitting there and already predicting what's going to happen, that they're going to try and sneak a turn in. That is so awesome. They saw them rotate away from the keep. They realized what was going on, and he's immediately there. That's just such a good play, such a good move.
Oh my gosh, 20 isn't here yet. Nagram getting engaged
There
on,
it
so is Hogger as well, and he's spinning left and right, trying to burn them down. Ultra's trying to get away from the fight as well, and a Riptire connects, and North America has one pick already. A hook is about to be up. He doesn't even need it. He walks forward, puts him in his belly, drops him on the trap, and that's going to be 2 pickoffs of the European team, and they're stuck defending at 3v5.
Yes, and they're, of course, losing even more gems right now. North America has them in a chokehold, and they're choking the life out of them now. 8 kills to 1, and that's how it started there. Hammer has already died at this point. Then the Gorge happens. Cattle, the easy play into the trap. No chance for Svamgrota, even though the hook flowing out. And that's all that they needed here. Oh my God! Another big one! And Nagram is on the run. He's trying to employ the French defense here, but he can't run any faster. And that is another kill.
And
the
boss
is up in 10. This looks like another victory for North America.
30K in a poised position here to go up 3-1 over the European team. And if they earn this W, they only need one more win. The DPS is coming out on the boss. Handing and crew are trying to sneak in a turn, and this will buy them some time. But is it going to be enough, Khaldor?
I mean, it should be. It should be enough time for 30K to go for the core and finish it all here. Down to the bottom of the map, we have some Siege Giants, so they hope to defend and hope that those Siege Giants can damage the keep a little bit. Jojo will be back at some point. The turn-in has also happened, so there is the bot lane to consider, and the mid lane fort is going to fall too. All of this is only going to matter if they can defend the core, and that is a big if. We're 19 minutes in, and 30K has dominated this game. 9 kills to 1. How does the Bangbush think they're going to stop this? Not like this. Immediately the hook connects, Svamgrota says bye-bye, and that might just be all she wrote.
Yeah, he's sacrificial lamb there. Now Ultra steps up with the hook being down for a little bit, hoping to make a huge engage. Oh, but Sylvanas gets grabbed. There goes the Legacy pool once again. Oh my God!
Kill!
A big Joanna condemned. Full CC coming out. Brightwing able to survive. So is Sylvanas. Just kidding though. Sergeant Hammer gets destroyed. Hogger doing some damage. Gems being dropped left and right. It's a 3-on-3, but the boss is wailing on the core.
Sylvanas goes down, gets absolutely crushed here, and that is game. Nagram is the sole survivor together with Henning, but that is going to be a big lead for 30K. The 3-1 advantage. They take the 4th game. They're happy, they're cheering. North America has done it again. They take it from the Europeans.
30K up 3-1. They need one more victory to be the Miami Heroes International Champions. Coming out here displaying a composition that is rare but unique to see, and they deliver perfectly on it.
And what a story.
Yeah.
They came here and got eliminated in the winner bracket semi-final by the Bangbush without taking a single map, and they had to claw their way back into the grand final by winning round and round and round in the losers bracket, and they somehow pulled it off. Now they have the revenge match. After a 2-0 lead, Bangbush said, nope, we're not going to stop here. They put the point on the board, and then immediately 30K responds with another win. They're playing a fantastic day here, a fantastic tournament, and you can see the confidence from game to game that they're building up for themselves. There's so much momentum going for this team now.
What I really appreciate about 30K is that we've had different folks in different games being the carry. We've had Kier pop off this tournament with Tracer, with Genji, but there he took more of a back seat, and Madara and Cattle in particular came in and said, you know what, I got this one, boys. Landing a couple of hooks, getting the full engagements, and my favorite part about all of these different playmakers is how the team adapts to make sure that they get enabled. Legacy was there, making sure to have the pool on stitches. That kind of stuff, it was what brings the team together and makes them so special. So 30K right now, completely delivering for me.
Well-deserved lead in the series, and if we are going to see the Europeans bring this back, then they have to change it up a bit.
Bangbush just needing to get in the game themselves and earn W to stay alive. Khaldor, this has been a great series, a great weekend so far.
It's been a great weekend, and North America is so close to going from being the butt of the joke to EU. This close.
Yeah.
One more map.
Maybe.
One more map and EU Lul is becoming a reality. It's been a long time in the waiting. Sky Temple is the map. Can Europe turn it around? Not going to be easy. One single map that they've won so far. And let's face it, 30K looks amazing right now. They're playing out of their mind.
There are 2 maps that you and I, as casters, in the years that we have casted together, that has the most ridiculous games in a grand finals. One of that is Towers of Doom. And the other one is Sky Temple. Sky Temple is always weird. I still remember this day. I see it clear as day. The Genji dash onto the core killing it off afterward. Just so many things that can happen.
Not only that, but this is also where we saw the McDonald's strategy from Fnatic. This is where we saw triple globals being played, completely out-rotating the opponent. So this map has definitely a history.
Yeah.
And now it becomes potentially the final map of this series, the final map of this grand final at the First Heroes International. Dehaga gets taken, so we talked about globals, and here it is immediately. The ban pattern is still holding strong. I talked about it in the previous draft. The only thing that I can see being changed was that Blaze ban on the side of 30K, and that's exactly what they did. They let Blaze go through, they banned Brightwing instead, and now they picked him up for themselves. But Ultralisk is coming out swinging. He immediately goes and says, like, you know what, boys?
These picks are so fast. I can't even write them down fast enough. People, they have their focus. They obviously talked about this in the downtime. They are prepared to go. The Maev, as you mentioned here. And I like the Maev as well, because now you're in a situation where you can flirt with the idea of maybe we leave Tracer open. Maybe we leave Genji open. We have some way to lock them down now and force a kill on them.
I mean, at some point, if it comes to a last map, you know, like if it really happens, and we're now going Sky Temple into game number 6. It's another victory for the Bang Bush. At the end of the day, I'm absolutely in favor of just making this a 1v1 of Cure and Ultralisk.
Morales versus Morales.
Let's go.
How fun would that be?
Maybe not quite that.
We talk about HOTS being fun. Morales versus Morales action. It's pretty nice.
That sounds like a snooze fest. At least give me Abathur against Abathur.
Oh, you think it's a snooze? I'm telling you. You should do it one day on your stream, a 1v1 against your subs.
Nah,
it looks boring, but grenades.
We need the slaps.
Tracer gets banned out. Yeah, Abathur versus Abathur is actually probably equally as good. I do love 30K's strategy here of just like, all right, we're going to take the priority tanks, man. We're going to get the setup. We're going to get the CC. It's Johanna into Blaze, and then we'll just take whatever damage is left over. Right now, it's Karazim and Hanzo.
Look at them. It's like insta-picks.
Yeah.
They're not hesitating for a moment. Sylvanas and Tyrell, they have exactly what they wanted. This is the draft they want. This is the draft they believe in. And they just dare 30K and say, like, come at us.
Sure.
And 30K, of course, they can risk a couple of things. It's 3 match points in a row. It would be a bit of a miracle if the Bang Bush is able to take this. But here we go. Tyrael, he's actually, this is one of the things that they have pointed out a bit earlier, because we had an absolute god sanked by Tyrael, by Nagrum in one of the previous series, and that was actually against 30K. And back then they already said, hey, just go into the fight, go YOLO, and believe in Nagrum, believe in his sanct, and then we're winning anything.
Backdoors can happen for both of our teams, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Fall sets come in, and Cure's done it once this tournament already.
He's done it, and we have Gust for the boss pit.
Yeah, this is actually one of those things that we're like, if a shot call has to be made, a shot call can be made.
Yes.
Straight up with the heroes that have been drafted. Everything here is primed and equipped to earn the victory, even if they have to scrounge for it, for both of our sides. So it comes down to who mentally is more into what's happening and who makes the correct call at the correct time at the correct moment. And Bang Bush hoping to stay alive just to do that. And 30K, how awesome would it be for them to get a backdoor for a victory in a grand finals? There's just so much possibility here.
Yeah, absolutely. So if they can pull anything like that off, it would be really epic to close this out. But there is a team that is trying to prevent that from happening, and those are the Europeans. And I gotta say it right from the beginning. We can always talk about, like, hey, is jet lag a problem? Are the flights a problem? What about the travel? We don't have Dino here. But at the end of the day, honestly, those are all excuses. This is where we are. We have North America versus Europe, and who wins has it. Who wins proves to be the best team at this tournament, and that is all that counts. And 30K is just one single map win away from making this happen. Washed Up was eliminated. They had their chance against Tempest, they didn't take them. And at this point, it seems like the one team that really persevered through it all is 30K, made it into the grand final, and they are this close to deciding in their favor. Head into Sky Temple, let's get things going, and let's see if maybe, just maybe, the blue team can bring it back a tiny little bit. We have on the left side, the Bang Bush with Ultralisk on Maev, bringing out the big guns now for game number 5. We got Skok on Sylvanas, Henning on Rega, Nagrom on Tyrael, and Swamgrota playing Dehaga.
And looking for the tournament win. This is where they have to do it. They'll have a couple more opportunities, but it'd be grand to do it now on the far right. Liam on Blaze, Cattle on Johanna, Legacy on Karazim, Cure on Falstad, and Madara playing Hanzo. So Cure, who played Hanzo on the last match, now move then over to Madara, who will aim to be the same with those arrows.
Madara was actually one of the first that I've seen on the NA side that really got good use out of the meme strike. He used it for Hanzo to zone opponents out, to trap them into corners, corners, and he did it really well. Up to this point, every time I saw the meme strike play by an A teams, it was just an absolute joke. And he was the first one that came in and made it totally work. And I was really impressed by him back then. A lot of this was also showcased at the offline event in February. But he, of course, it's not a given that he goes for that, but it's an option for him. He's been playing it a lot. But the impact of these arrows from Hanzo with the stun is just so huge. We'll see what he decides to do, but it's just something that I feel is really important to point out because he is strong on this character.
Yeah, the thing about Hanzo is I completely agree with you. At level 10, there's so many options that you can utilize to make them both work. Ooh, Ultralis, by the way, stepping up, attempting to try and get a tether. Actually gets punished pretty hard there from Madar in the scatter arrows as he walks away with his tail between legs as he takes a lot of damage. But that's okay. He turns his eye towards the Giants. Proper timing for both of our teams as we set up for that temple phase. Now, Liam, once again, having to deal with some aggression on the top lane, and Kier's like, you know what, bud? I got you. Rotating over with his global and helping with the wave clear.
Yeah, and with all of the wave clear that we're seeing right now, we have also 2 globals, which means that you can't just simply get onto the side lane and push against the opponent. There will always be a bit of counterbalance. Haka and Falstad will definitely find themselves on the same lane quite a lot of times. And I already like what we're seeing from 30k. They're getting big value at the top. I've been talking about this in the previous series. If you are able to take structures down without the help of the objective, any temple trade that you take is going to get you a step further to victory, and your opponent is trailing behind. And that's exactly what they're using right now. They're dropping the top wall before the temples have even been announced. So very nice opening from them. Yeah,
for those that play Heroes of the Storm, some would believe the Sky Temple is more of a Blackheart's Bay light to a degree, but the difference is you actually get team fights. You can force the issue in these situations, but Khaldor is completely correct. Every single fort that you break down just really starts that domino effect of you being able to snowball the map. That's why globals are such an important draft here, because they kind of help mitigate that. Top lane taking some damage, though, as Bangbush is hoping to break down this entire wall. And remember, when you get those walls, grabbing those temples will equal forts if you get them both, and that's going to be the main priority here.
Yeah, they weren't intimidated here in the slightest. They just took their camp at the time, and it was a bit of a late defense of their own wall, but they are, of course, now coming in, doing the exact same thing to 30k. They're just breaking through here. Nagron being as annoying as he can. Nice dodge by Ultralis, because Liam was hoping to get the Jet Propulsion connect. And Ultralis has to be the one to deliver here once again. We've talked about him. We've talked about how much responsibility is on his shoulders. Every single game these guys play, being it his Carrigan, being it his Maiev, he's always the one that has that X-Factor pick for the team. Very similar to what we're seeing from Cure on the side of 30k.
Both temples now grabbed, one apiece for our teams. Bangbush working on the one here in the center, whereas 30k is grabbing the top. They would love the side lanes because that gives them a chance with Falstad to set up for any large pushes. And with that assassin damage, he's very strong at pushing a tower. He's able to get to them. Liam holding here for a little bit while Ultras rotates in. Now he is waiting for his teammates. There they go. Dahaka and Tyrael show up to help with this fight, and it looks like they want to brawl.
Yeah, they're definitely here to brawl. They want to make a statement. They know that they have to be aggressive. They have to risk something. If you are 1-3 in the series, you can't just simply sit there and let your opponent control the game. You need to do something. That might backfire on you, and I think in this case, Sylvanas has nearly experienced that. Nice escape, but you have to take the risk. If it backfires, it backfires, but you got to do it.
Yeah, you certainly do. The Temple, you need to go all the way to the 2 bottom marks there on that UI. Who's going to be able to grab it? They are just really fighting for this. Falstad does have his fly. Decides not to even move it in, though. Jet Propulsion goes in, and that's going to be a lockdown on the support. Rhaegar getting picked with Karazim delivering the final punch.
Rhaegar down, the support gone, the first fort eliminated. 30k with a double control now. Sylvanas at the bottom of the map, and things are looking very good here for 30k. The first blood in the game. And Sylvanas hoping to at least get the Siege Giants before the red team rotates over, but abandons the idea and instead moves into the middle to help out the teammates.
Oh my gosh, we're only 5 minutes in the market. I feel like we've already had so much pressure. I don't know if it's the other matches building up, but God, I'm starting to sweat. Liam all the way in no man's land here on the top left, trying to apply some pressure to get the opposing team to come over and gank him. And this was actually a ploy to set up the Giant play in the bottom lane. Remember, the next temple is going to be down there, so if the Giants can push in and get a fort, that'd be huge. Liam buying time, but trading out his life so his teammates can set up on the bottom left.
Yeah, but still, he got a little bit lost there. That man needs Google Maps on his phone. I mean, that's the wrong base, bro.
Please
I'm sorry.
make right here.
Take a right. No, the other right. The other right.
I do not want you, the announcer, on my Google's map. I'll get so lost. Giants sieging away on these turrets, and with Sylvanas finally showing up, actually not getting too much damage. Those double Giants play, you're hoping one sieges down the fort, get some decent damage there to chunk it down, but also you wanted a little bit more damage on that turret to make sure the temple's more effective. So I think 30K would have been happier with a smidgen more damage.
Yeah, I mean, another explanation is that Liam just felt a little bit sorry for the Europeans and wanted to make them feel good.
What a nice guy.
Those are, it's a solidarity death, you know?
Yeah.
Shows a little bit of solidarity with the European team here, and I can absolutely appreciate that. So what a chat. They get level 10 early. Liam, the only one that has fallen so far on the side of 30K. And there it is. Dragon Arrow, more stuns, Blessed Shield. I mean, it's stun galore. The disc, of course, that is another question. Can they capitalize on that? Arrow is out, got sanked hard. Nice. Can they get the kill? They can. What a play. That was amazing. The sank on the arrow, so good. And then the tether and the kill against Jojo. That was sexy, and we're going to take another look at it.
And also keep an eye on the mini-map there, because I thought Falset might want to fly in and use the Mighty Gust, but Dahaka was able to put some pressure. And here's that containment disc, and the Sanctification comes down to stop that stun from occurring. That's the whole point of the Tyrael. Tether pulls him in, and that's going to complete deletion. And you saw all four afterwards with the seven-sided strike coming out. Jump in. They all took a hit just to make sure that no one would be bruised and battered. Medora put into a corner, and Madara is going to be taken out as well. Bangbush trying to make sure that they can stay in the series.
What just happened here? We went from 30K starting to take structures to Bangbush taking names, getting people killed, and dropping a fort while taking a temple. That escalated quickly.
I mean, this just is a change of pace. Who's the other tank that was actually pretty good at diving? One is Nubarak and Diablo. Both have been taken out, but you haven't really had to deal with the Tyrael rundown, that full movement speed. And that may have just surprised 30K right there, because the speed of the game adjusts slightly when he's in there. So that was a beautiful push there for Bangbush. 30K now trying to reset, but they're getting to a point now where this temple pain is starting to hurt. Mid-fort now falls, and the third is being shelled upon.
Yeah, that is such a nice move now from Bangbush. I mean, I'm honestly impressed. Cure comes in, they're taking over, they want the remaining shots. They're going to get them. They have the advantage here right now, so there's a few shots fired against the wall, but kudos to Bangbush. They are making this very interesting and some real nice plays. I gotta say, from the individual plays, we've seen so many cool ones this tournament. That Hanzo kill against Cure's Tracer earlier today, for example, just soloing him there was so impressive. And Cure himself with play after play whenever he gets these mobile assassins. It's been a great tournament with some exceptional display of skill.
Any moment that I've gotten sad in the last 24 hours, all I thought about was Kier taking out Genji when he was playing against Reset. You know, those are amazing plays that really comes down to why these two teams are currently in the grand finals. Now, with it all said and done, we have 3-1 in kills in favor of Bangbush, but in experience, it's very similar. 30K has done a great job of soaking the map.
Well, we have level 13 talents coming up now. So the next stage of the game is entering in a moment. A lot of camps on the map now too. Top lane for Bangbush is pushing, the bot lane the same. Everybody's checking also if somebody is attempting to at least go for the boss here. Hasn't really happened thus far. And I actually didn't expect it to happen right now. But they got the Sanctification ready. They have to be really careful because there's this would be a crazy risky play to make. If you go for that and your opponent still has full stats Gust and then also 7-sided plus the arrow from Hanzo, I would be a little bit cautious. But they try to go for the hit here. Nice connect again by Dehaka. Sanctification is out. They're trying for the kills. Can they get them? And the answer is no. Falstad with the Gust, doing a great job. Legacy able to jump out barely, but he is able to escape. That was very close, though. Nice Gust from Cure, saving the day for NA.
But with Mighty Gust being used, that boss play is still a potential thing that could have happened here for Bangbush with that Holy Ground being available for Tyrael.
Yeah.
However, Bangbush decides, all right, we're going to pull away, instead sit in the bush on the top left side and see if we can get a pick. Johanna about to sniff that out. Ooh, that was scary. Maiev actually starting to move in. Ultra's trying to get a tether. Doesn't know if he can quite get it. They have to look over at Johanna, and Johanna getting stunned to death. Pulls out her tray for that shield. Dahaka goes for a burrow, thinking about a drag, but decides to back away and take the trade.
Yeah, they're just poking against each other a little bit in this situation. The next temple has been announced, is active now, double temple. And down to the bottom of the map, it is Liam to take it. But structurally, it's a lead for the Bangbush. A trade would be good for them. And they are not only interested in trading, they're very interested in going for the birdie here. Cure is able to escape. but he's definitely a prime target. He's the squishy, and they want to put him back into the KFC basket and go for that crispy chicken.
Yeah, there was a second they were like, maybe we do dive this, even the Holy Ground getting thrown down, but with them not sure when Fall said everybody gets about to be up. It was 4 seconds away from spawning. They wisely back away. Temple in the middle being grabbed, and with a fort being sieged here by North America, they're going to open up their first layer of defense and destroy that. But sadly for them, in the middle of the map, they have their own keep being sieged upon.
Yeah, already. Cattle, they go for him again. The arrow hits hard, 7-sided. Nice, good reaction though. But Nagrom, he's low, has no sank. They got interrupted and he dies. They try to go for the counter kill. That doesn't work either. Ultralist.
Oh, busted!
Oh, that was clutch.
That was really close there. And Mighty Gus is up and available, so 30K turns their sights towards the boss. They have full control here to do so, and that was a massive play for them.
That was a huge play. Now they get the boss, and what's even more important is that we also have still... Ooh, Swampgrotta. Careful, baby. Swampgrotta is a bit low here. Nearly caught, but they also have the temple still up. That's what I was about to say. So it's a boss and a temple, while they already soaked the bot side temple, meaning that the structures are exactly identical here. So this is going to set 30K a bit ahead again.
I can honestly watch a best of 67 between these two teams. They are just going back and forth. Haymakers left and right, plays left and right as well. But does it ever look like anyone is actually fully knocked out? Now, 30K hits 16, grabs the temple in the middle, and they are going to bolster out this boss. They would love to assist it to get keep damage.
Yeah, they would love to get this a bit further in, but there's no 16 yet for the blue team, so they might just be able to do a bit more. Now we're early in the game. It's only 11 minutes in, so the boss is not too strong yet. But 16 is now available, and here we go. The disc is out. They want the birdie, but the bunker is dropping them in the back. Ultralisk again threatening them, and Nagrom is right there with him. Both of them are trying to push them back out. The keep is still safe for the time being. But we're looking again at another objective that will spawn 2 temples in just a few seconds. And they have to fight for control at the bottom, or that keep is going to be lost.
Yeah, this is where that struggle and that tug of war becomes an issue for both of our teams.
Yes.
These keeps will be sieged. A temple to the very, very top and a temple to the bottom. And that's where those globals really come into play. There could be a situation where you have Falstad versus Dahaka. And if Falstad is able to evade the tongue coming in from Dahaka and Autotex, he can win that trade. On the other hand, if Dahaka can land that drag, that could be a 1-for-1. But we've seen both those players go for 1-for-1s and both come out on top. So that excites me for that trade.
This is insane. This entire series has been crazy, but here comes Bangbush. They go for the Sank, they go for the Tether. The Iron Skin is out, nicely done, and the Gust of Cure is saving 30K
Nagrom?
for the second time. They're turning it on Nagrom. Ancestral is out. What a battle. Everybody is just playing on the line. It is crazy.
Arrow!
The arrow and the choke point, so sexy and good. They get the 7-sided, they get the kill. They want more than that. They're looking for the doggy. He gets out the stun. Hits Nagrom. Falstad, Cure, he gets him. He drops Rhaegar, and they look for kill number 3.
Nagrom trying to survive himself, but he's going to fall, just trying to buy some time, even for a second or two, to stop North America from pushing in too heavily. Lucky with the camp at the top right, but let's look at this fight once again. Liam goes to the left. Here's Jump Potion. Boom, hits it on 2. The Holy Grail as well, and then look at that, the bunker, just to make sure they could add some DPS.
That was so awesome from them. What a great fight. It could have completely turned against 30K if that kill against Johanna actually happens. But Cure coming in, gusting, saving the day. Then the turnaround, the choke point used by Hanzo. They moved right into it. And this is bad news, because now 30K has taken a massive step to victory. They get both of the temples. Big leading experience, and the structural damage is of course also significant as the top keep falls and the top keep takes a mad damage.
And we're at that point in the series here where Bangbush can't afford to have any mistakes or have any more losses. High risk, high reward has to be the play for them. Skog steps up, starts getting some damage here on top of Liam. His arrow is up in 1 second. The drag goes out. It does not connect, but they do force out the bunker. There's a dragon's arrow as well coming out from Hanzo just to ensure they can escape, and there will be a few temple shots left over for Bangbush.
Yeah, couple that they can fire out. They, of course, have also done some damage to those keeps, but it is such a good spot for 3K to be in. Bangbush, how are they going to deal with it? Can they force a fight? Are they going to try before 20 is available for 30K, or are they going to play a bit more passive in an attempt to get to level 20 themselves? They're being aggressive.
Tyrael goes in. He
YOLO.
steps up. He has
YOLO, baby. All or nothing.
He takes the Giants. Ooh, another arrow comes out as well. Doesn't hit. Containment disc on the top left corner. Who is that locked down? Who is in there? Oh my gosh, it was actually Falstad as Kira falls, and that was an important pick. Bangbush needed that for their tournament life, and with a boss spawning relatively soon, that small moment, it may send us into a game number 5. In 40 seconds, that boss will be up. Falstad's up in 40 seconds. It might be too tight to go for it.
Kira was so annoying for them to face against the entire time because he's the one that dropped gust after gust when they were attempting to make a play and just disrupted it. Without his gust, there were multiple situations where 30K would have lost the team fight, and now they got a hold of him finally and they grab him. 20 is there for 30K, but they are without Falstad for another 25 seconds, and in that time frame, they will get their Storm talents as well. They are still behind. But there is a chance now for them, and they're trying to also capture Blaze. But he is this time able to move out, and 30K reacted quite quickly, rotating Karazim top.
Are they going to do the boss play? Tyrael's not here yet. It just spawns. There's 5 seconds before Falstad pops up. They're going to start DPSing it. There's the Dehaka Burrow. They do have Sanctification and, oh, excuse me, not for 25 seconds, but they do have Holy Grail. Kier jumping over. 30K sniffing it out. This could be for the tournament.
Falstad is flying. Falstad is coming. Boss is nearly done. They grab it. They got the boss, but can they keep everybody alive? The boss is there. What can they do here? This could be the moment. 8 seconds until the Sanctification is up. The bot lane push is set up. We're 16 minutes into this game. They're moving into the middle of the map. They're trying to go for the two-pronged attack here to at least get one key blow.
They're trying to get a mismatch here. They're trying to see if they can get a 5v3. They can get a tether.
Falstad.
Johanna's here. Falstad's on the bottom looking for a flank. Could push him into the keep. There they go. Big push in. That is going to be the Mighty Gust. And the Wind Tunnel. Tyrael comes in. Has a Holy Ground. Certification's up. He will use it to save him. Here, Containment Disc on the bottom right, Khaldor.
He didn't even have to use it. They waited out for so long. They didn't have to use it here, but they did. The boss wailing away down at the bottom of the map. So many ults already used by 30K. Ancestral are also coming out. Bangbush could have held that Sanctification even longer, but with this many ults flying all around you, they were scared. They didn't want to risk anything, and I can't blame them at all for that. There was so much happening there at the same time. They played it safe, but the boss is now doing damage. It has been defeated. They go for the top. They go for the temple, and the only ult that is currently up is Blaze's bunker.
30K waiting for the heroics. Karazim 7-sided strike will be up in 6 seconds. Mighty Gust in 19. Remember that Wind Tunnel is powerful. Kira holding that top left corner. Containment just comes out, does not connect. There's a tailwind. Liam comes in for the jet propulsion, but Ultralisk is able to dodge it.
It's Ultralisk once again that we're looking towards. Ults are coming slowly back. 7-sided strike is available. 30K, they look for the opening. The stun. Ultralisk goes down, gets deleted.
And that's
the kill that they needed.
That is the engage here with another heroic of Wind Tunnel, Busted Shield 2. They find a second here. Bangbush in trouble, looking desperate, and 30K is smelling blood in the water. They step up from the top left corner. They grab the night camps. They're going to prep it and move into that keep that's already low on health.
They want to go for a game here. That was a disaster. The one hero that couldn't get caught, Ultralisk. He died. Now they go for Sylvanas. The stuns, the kill.
There it goes.
That's all she wrote. NA about to grab the tournament victory and putting the lull into EU. Bangbush about to lose. The gust is happening and the core is falling. The best of 7 decided in favor of 30K as they drop their core and lock in a 4-1 victory against Europe.
There it is. North America is your champions of the Heroes International here in Miami. Incredibly played by them as they earn the victory with a 4-1. Awesome stuff to see here from North America, and they pull off the dub.
Congratulations, great plays there. Bangbush made it very, very tight there towards the end and incredibly exciting. But the fight at the top over the last temple, the kill against Ultralisk to set it all off, that's what they needed to take down. And we have not only some very, very happy North America fans here, but also...
Yeah, there he is, Michael Udall with the 30K victory. Called it on Friday night, came in on Saturday morning.
Early today, too.
And today as well.
Yeah, he believed. He believed.
He believed. You gotta believe, man. Again, just one last comment on 30K in general. I love the improvements seeing here from North America. Keep pushing towards it. I think one of the main reasons for that, just to shout out, is Kier. I think Kier really whip these guys into shape. They were all together, willing to be a teamwork. That drive that Kier has for his individual self is so strong that it really flowed out to his teammates. And it was very, very apparent. There was a moment when I was watching him in scrims yesterday where him and Legacy had a disagreement, and when he came over and looked at him, Legacy says, I already have the replay open. Let's figure it out. And that kind of stuff, is how you become a champion. That stuff is amazing. And I just want to shout them out for doing that. And I hope to see more from them in the future, and we can get more tournaments like this. When everyone is competitive, that's when things are fun.
Yeah, Kier is absolutely driving the bus there. And the one time it got really scary for 30K is when he was killed. But also, Madara, how many times do you think he's going to watch that arrow?
Yeah, that arrow was so
arrow into the choke
money.
point, triple stun, and I believe they got 3 kills in total after that as they started chasing. One of them secured by Q as he flew in towards the top keep even and got the kill against Rhaegar. So incredibly well played. And there's another way of saying it. Very well-deserved victory here for 30K. They played this perfectly. They had a very long run through the losers bracket. They had to go up against the Bangbush again, who defeated them in the winner bracket, but they made it happen when it really mattered. A 4-1 victory, leaving absolutely no doubt that they are currently the strongest team here at the tournament. A lot of others struggled and stumbled. They didn't. So we have 30K coming in first at the first Heroes International. We got the Bangbush taking second place and Team Tempest taking third.
Okay, that sounds like we have an interview. Let's go ahead and then send it over to Joy and see what they got to say to us.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.